No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Smackin' Raw podcast episode. I think it's 179. I fucked it up last time. I'll get Travis to fix it later. But I am your host, the Warden, Matt Ritter, and I am here again with my co-host, Daddy Delgado himself. Vince, man, how you doing?
What's up, man? How's it going? Glad to be back 2 weeks in a row.
Well, it's not 2 weeks in a row. You're a permanent fucking co-host, Vince.
I know, but I'm never on the show. I know. It's just kind of like an adjustment period is all. It's like, okay. I'm not used to being on the show this often.
Which is why I got two special guests with us so you didn't fuck it up. From the Smacked Raw podcast, and this is just for you because you asked for it, Katie Bebe, a.k.a. KDW, a.k.a. Kindercare, a.k.a. Katie Vick, a.k.a. the best damn host Smacked Raw podcast has. Katie, what are you doing?
Wow. Yes, I'm gonna reach Travis one day. How many does Travis have?
I don't know, and I couldn't do the Get Yo one, so
that's fine.
Yeah, they gave her one. It was like KDDBBB or some. I don't know. What the
there's some B's. I don't know. I've been drinking. I wasn't really listening. Yeah. But Justin's a nice guy. But I'm doing great.
Nice.
And last but certainly not least, from the Smacked Raw family group chat, good friend of Katie, and the only person under 25 that gives two shits about Chris Jericho. Savannah, how are you?
I'm doing good, and I think you're absolutely right about that. I'm probably the only one. But you know what? Chris loves me just as much as I love him. So
there you go.
I'll take what I can get here.
All right, we're going to kick this off as we always kick it off and remind you guys that you guys can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ritter. There's that MATTRIDDER. And in my pinned tweet, there is a link to whatamaneuver.com where you guys can go pick up a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, which if you're watching the video, Vince is wearing from Young Kings Wrestling. All that money goes to a good cause. So please go support them and donate your money there. I would very much appreciate that. And let's get into a little news and rumors. Travis isn't here, so I'm not going to play music. We're not going to do a panda gif, unfortunately. But right off the bat, Drew McIntyre's got COVID.
Welcome to the club.
True.
I'm sorry. I had to bring it up at some point.
Hopefully he handles it as well as you did. So
I know. I'm so glad I got like a very mild case. It could have been a lot worse. So I'm hoping, like me, he did catch it early. And he said he doesn't have any symptoms, but you never know as days go on. As your 14 days go on, it could be better or worse. So, but I'm sure they're taking care of him, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I had a bit of a COVID scare myself. I was possibly exposed to someone that could have had it. I got tested negative. He came back negative, so we're all good. But for a good couple of days there, I was a nervous wreck, whether or not I had this or not.
It wasn't
when I tested, I didn't even think I had it. I thought I was going into the clinic that I got tested at. I thought I was going in for a sinus infection because every time I inhaled through my nose, I got some really like horrible pain in my sinus area up here. So that's what I thought I was going in for until they tested me, and then it came back positive, and I was a wreck. I literally cried like hysterically in front of the poor doctor, and he had to like calm me down because I was so scared.
Well, I do remember you were all excited and nervous to come on and do the show with us, and then you hit us up and you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I got a quarantine. We'll see, but luckily you're here. We're happy you're okay.
I'm not even joking. Yesterday was my first day like out of quarantine, so I barely made it. So
well, thank you, COVID, for not fucking up my show. I appreciate it.
Well, like fuck you, COVID, for almost fucking up the show.
Do we think that this issue is gonna possibly fuck up Royal Rumble?
Maybe, because it depends when because he could have because last time he was on Raw, that's maybe like the day after he probably got tested then or something, and then that's when he found out. So he could, by the time the Royal Rumble comes, it'll be past 14 days. But again, it just depends on his condition. I don't know if they're gonna wait until he tests negative or if he just is no longer contagious. Because I'm still technically COVID positive, but I'm no longer contagious, so I can go out again. So
right. I mean, I don't know too many details, but I know for like a lot of sports leagues like the NBA and NFL, they have their own testing protocol. Assuming the WWE has a similar one that's almost as good, hopefully he can be back in time for that championship match. But I'm not holding out hope that he will make it in time for the Rumble. I'm more concerned about the man's health. Hopefully he's going to be good. Obviously, they have great medical like physicians over there, despite what like CM Punk's Z-Pack story might tell you. They still are the champion, and I doubt they'll let him get too sick, and they'll take care of the man. But hopefully he makes it in time for Rumble.
Vince's internet's a little iffy, so
yeah, he just turned into a robot for a hot sec.
Whoa. Okay.
well, it's okay. That's why I have both of you here. So if I lose him, I've got a backup. We'll just continue on without him like he's not even here. It's all good.
oh,
Look my best.
Let's talk about Paul Heyman and talking smack and his treatment of Kayla Braxton, who also left Twitter. Was it Kayla Braxton on talking smack or
I think it's Kayla. It's Kayla.
Yeah, Kayla.
Yeah, because she left Twitter because people were harassing her about COVID after Roman because she's already had 2 COVID scares, but also Paul Heyman has just been trouncing her on talking smack.
No, it's been crazy. It's been fun to see though.
He's pulling no punches. It's kind of weird to see. Like Heyman was like getting all types of aggro with her. I was like, shit, Paul, relax. She's trying her best.
Of all people, her, not like, I mean, yeah, he fucks with Apollo and everything, but like it's weird seeing him fuck with like the host of the show. But he used to do that with JR when he was on commentary with JR in the early 2000s. He said he just wanted to see how under JR's skin he could get him because he wanted to get him fired up and get him going. So
yeah, maybe it's a similar case.
How do you guys feel about the Twitter trolls running her off Twitter again over fucking like harassing her, saying, "Oh, you probably gave Roman COVID," blah 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 blah, which doesn't even make sense. But like it, I fucking hate Twitter sometimes.
Twitter's toxic.
That's why I'm hardly ever on it, because I've gotten some ugly shit said to me and I didn't even do anything. Like
Twitter, it's nasty. The wrestling community on Twitter's a cesspool.
Yeah, it's like
ugh.
No, I think Twitter in general is a cesspool. It's not just the wrestling community, wrestling Twitter. I've seen like NBA Twitter get very nasty too. So it's Twitter in general. I feel like people just like have this sense of confidence so they can just get away and say whatever they want just because there's like a blank screen. There's no faces attached to it. There's no consequences. So people say whatever they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially because Twitter's like an app, like a social media platform where you don't really post pictures. It's more words than like, visuals. So you can definitely hide behind a screen on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Oh.
Last but not least, Josh Matthews, the Impact Wrestling announcer, is being replaced tomorrow night. We're recording on Friday. You guys will probably hear it on Saturday, by Matt Stryker and D'Lo Brown as the new commentary team for Impact. Don't make that face. D'Lo Brown is a fucking champ, baby. Vince knows this.
Don't bring back my D'Lo Brown history, man.
I honestly don't care. I'm sorry. I only
I
watch
didn't
Impact
even know.
for Kenny. I only watch Impact for Kenny, so
that's the only reason people watch Impact. Let's be real here.
So I used to watch Impact until AJ left when it was TNA.
I used to watch Impact just for the Rascals, but we'll get into them when we get to NXT. Now that there's no Rascals over there, there's really no need to watch.
If there's no Kenny, I ain't watching, or at least I'm not paying attention. I'll just have it on my laptop, and then when I see Kenny, that's when I'll pay attention. And
I do know that Josh Matthews was a big complaint of people being the, one of the sole voices on commentary. You also had Madison Reigns working with him, but a lot of people were not happy with him. So Matt Stryker did Lucha Underground commentary. He also did commentary a little bit in WWE. so he
Mhm.
does have the commentary chops. D'Lo Brown is a fucking dude from Chicago, should have been champ, underrated as fuck, right, Vince?
Sure.
Exactly. So he's gonna be fantastic as well. So it'll be cool. I mean, I'm still not gonna watch Impact,
I
but
will say this:
know.
I dislike Matt Striker's commentary. It is very annoying. It's like it's good in like in bunches and spurts, but when you hear it for 2 hours, it's too much.
is
'Cause-
Impact 2 hours long?
Yes.
Ew.
Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Especially with they don't even have like any
Audience,
Like,
nothing.
yeah, nothing.
No, it's hard.
Like
It was like
th-
WWE in the beginning of the pandemic. Well,
Yeah.
and actually, no, I was gonna say AEW, but no, they had like the other wrestlers at
Yeah.
ringside.
yeah.
No, it's bad.
No, it's not nope.
Savannah, since it is your first day on the show, we're going to let you guide us through our journey of recapping. So, what show would you like to start with?
Probably the show where my boy Chris is on. Let's start off with AEW.
I fucking figured. All right. So,
Girl.
we
Like, I
kick
wonder
off.
who gave it away.
We kick off AEW with a match. It's Pac versus Kingston or Pac. I'm going to call him Pac. I don't know why they keep calling him Pac. I mean, it's Pac.
I can't
Got him.
I can't get used to calling him Pac. I just call him Pac. Like to this day.
Tupac?
Yeah, exactly.
Pac.
Tupac,
Yeah,
Tupac
yeah,
or Pac-Man. You choose which one you want to go with.
No, it's Pac.
Pac.
It's a good match. Pac's doing his shit. We get Black Arrow. After he gets the win with the Black Arrow, he throws on the Brutalizer post-match. The family comes in to try and attack him. Archer comes out, gets involved, and then they're yelling back and forth. I don't understand the Lance Archer Pac fucking death triangle dynamic that they're trying to create here. I just don't get it.
I'm not the best one to like.
Well, that's why I didn't ask you.
No, I know, but I will say that even trying to keep up with what I can keep up with, it felt like it didn't make sense. I wasn't sure where this whole alliance came from. So
Archer was a heel that just randomly decided that because Eddie Kingston said that he didn't lose a battle royal, even though they both got title shots, he was just going to take issue with Eddie Kingston. And then because Pac rescued the Lucha Bros from Eddie Kingston, they're like fighting over who gets to beat up Eddie Kingston.
That's literally it. The common denominator is Eddie Kingston.
I love Eddie Kingston. He's a fucking
Eddie
jewel.
Kingston's a gem.
Oh no, Eddie Kingston's fantastic. I just mean this
Got on the mic.
fighting
Yes.
over who gets to beat up Eddie Kingston and turning
Which you both can fight him.
exactly.
I know, like Pac took care of him this week, so next week Lance Archer
Yeah.
can take
There you
care of him. Done deal.
There we go.
Then so this got me some shit on Twitter. So as everyone who's listened to the Smackin' Raw podcast knows, I don't give two shits about Chuck Taylor. I think he is the least common denominator of the best friends, and I constantly put out hashtag fuck Chuck. So I made a little tweet. I said, "Oh, a Chuck Taylor match. Skip hashtag fuck Chuck." And then I had people coming in. Why would you skip this match? It was such a good match because I watch AEW on demand and I watch NXT live. It was such a good match. Why would you skip this match? Why wouldn't you watch it? And I tried to explain to them, like, because it's Chuck Taylor. And they're like, well, what's your problem with Chuck Taylor? I'm like, because he calls himself Chuck Taylor, but he doesn't wear Chuck Taylors. And I can't let that abide. Like, I can't abide.
Not anymore.
He calls himself Chuck Taylor and doesn't wear Chuck Taylors. They're like,
He doesn't
"What
wear
is-"
them anymore.
From when I've seen him, and that's all that matters to me, Katie. I don't care what
I'm
the
just-
fuck he
I'm
did
just
before
saying.
me.
I'm just fucking saying, Matt.
Wait.
Yeah.
So this is news to me. So Chuck Taylor used to wear Chuck Taylors?
Yeah, I think that's how he got his name, is because he was wearing like his old ring shoes like were Chuck Taylor's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So I'm
so
okay
you
with
continue
it.
to do that.
I'm okay with it. You can drop it.
No. If you're gonna be called Chuck Taylor, you wear Chucks. Hashtag fuck Chuck. So anyway, I did watch the match, but I'm like trying to explain this to people, and they're like, "That's the dumbest reason ever to not like a wrestler." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. That's kind of why I do it. I'm just here to have fun. Like I'm just talking shit. It's not serious." But anyway, Miro beats Chuck Taylor, and now Chuck's gonna be Miro's bitch until the wedding, and I'm super excited about that. Like super
Yeah.
fucking
I
excited
love
to
this.
see Chuck Taylor in like a little tuxedo man thong with a leash around his neck, and Miro walk him around.
I
No,
don't think
nobody
that's what
else.
they had in
No,
mind. I don't
no.
think that's what they had in
No,
mind.
Isn't
Not
that, what, isn't that what a
exactly.
young boy is, or is that a different
No.
thing? That's a different
No,
thing.
no. That's a
No.
different thing. I don't know what kind of porn you're watching, Matt, but that's not that.
Well, Google young boy on Pornhub and you'll see what kind of porn I'm watching.
Yeah. No.
That took a turn.
You
Are
said
you
it.
really surprised though?
I
Kid?
did. No, I'm not. I've done this show like 4 times. I'm not surprised by a damn thing Matt says anymore.
How do you guys feel about this whole with Trent Sevens being out, young boy story, and Miro and the way they're using him on AEW?
Well, I remember that people were kind of like going back and forth on this one post where Tony Khan was like talking about how WWE treated Miro so poorly, and they're saying, well, you're doing pretty much the same thing, and he's trying, like, people are saying, well, it's long-term storytelling and stuff, and I'm like, still, like, I guess I'm on the side where, yeah, like, he's not any better here. He's a fucking Twitch streamer. He's a Twitch gamer. He got pissed over a damn video game on, like, when he first came. So I agree. Maybe in the future they will do something like what they've kind of made it seem like they were gonna do, but until then, he's just a gamer. He's just an angry Twitch streamer.
He went out on a storyline that ended in a wedding, and he's coming into a storyline that starts with a wedding.
Yep.
Exactly.
Crazy.
How do you guys feel
He seems
about?
like
Sorry, Vince. Would you?
I was just gonna say his character seems like he would like challenge you to like a death match if you didn't let him join your Minecraft server or something like that. Like that's what his character seems like to me.
I would love to see
Like-
that. That's what we need. That's what his gimmick should be. Fuck this whole best man thing. Be angry Twitch streamer that challenges you to duels and
Dude,
like
I'm all about that. Every week we have a small clip of Miro losing at a video game, getting angry, and then choking someone out, leading to a match.
Yes, that's how you
Just
and
rage
that's how-
quitting and beating the shit out of somebody.
God knows, I
Real
wish I
match.
could do that.
Then we had Private Party and Big Money Matt backstage, or their little interview / argument, because Private Party decided all of a sudden after signing contracts that 30% wasn't fair. Katie, you guys were talking about it on your post show. I believe it was Big Money Matt is the character, one of his alternate personalities or whatever.
Mhm.
This all reminds me of like the NWA movie or any movie with a successful black musician that's got a white manager who's just trying to take all their money and use them for their talent. Like
That's exactly what it is. Like Matt's not in his prime anymore. Private Party are fucking in their prime. Like they kill it when they get the chance to. And Matt's just like, oh, well, let me just attach myself to this tag team, especially because he's not with Jeff. I mean, granted, they probably wouldn't be doing too hot right now anyways, but he's just, after the whole Sammy thing, he had to reinvent himself again, Big Money Matt, and just be a part of one of the best tag teams in AEW. So,
you could say they could hardly be doing anything.
haha.
You know, I hate Jeff.
I know you do.
No, I mean, I guess if they're gonna tell this story and that's the route they're gonna go, where this young black tag team is being taken advantage of by Matt Hardy and somehow they get their comeuppance, I'm okay with it. It's storytelling. They're doing something with them. It's better than not using them along with the other 50 fucking tag teams that they don't use every week, because the entire roster's tag teams, which we found out with the Inner Circle in the next fucking segment.
Fucking love that segment.
So the Inner Circle has
Oh
New
my
Year's
God.
resolutions. Hager wants championships. Katie's favorite wrestler, MJF, wants to get rid of fat people. Sammy Guevara calls Jericho a tag team slut because Jericho said he's now going to team with MJF after formerly teaming with Sammy and then teaming with Jake. Proud and Powerful said, what the fuck? Like, we were the tag team, which I love that they actually did this, because I was getting angry every week where Jericho would join a new tag team. It's like, you have a fucking tag team. You get one in a faction, one fucking tag team. Everyone else is singles wrestlers going for different titles. Why are you doing this? Why does Jericho have to do this? So they addressed it. And now we're going to get a match next week. It is going to be MJF and Jericho versus Sammy Hager, the Red Rockers, versus Proud and Powerful. And the fact that I know that the majority of the fan base watching AEW did not get that Sammy Hager reference, just like Sammy didn't, really makes me sad.
Yeah, I was wondering because I did get it, but I was wondering because I thought Sammy, I wasn't sure if he like genuinely didn't get it or if he like was just he was just, it was like a work, I guess, if you could say that. I didn't know he genuinely didn't get the reference.
Oof.
One thing I did want to point out here, and it's just from a lack of like not watching the product like live every week or like sitting down and watching it. Like,
you mean just watching 23-minute highlight videos?
Yeah, you know, besides doing that. But no, the one thing I took away from this whole segment is it felt like this was MJF's faction. It felt like he was leading the entire like team, and it just kind of felt like Jericho was just like that crazy uncle in the background, just like being wild.
I think that's the point. I think that's what MJF's trying to do. He's trying to take over as head of the inner circle. He's trying to take that from Chris, and Chris is slowly allowing it because MJF's pretty much kissing his ass.
How does that
Not
make you
pretty
feel,
much is.
Savannah? As a Jericho fan,
man, Jericho?
How do you feel to see this creep MJF that your friend Katie just absolutely loves take away his faction from him?
I don't know, man. Chris is the one who formed the inner circle. So the fact that two things bother me. The fact that someone's trying to take his spot and the fact that he's letting him take his spot. And actually a third thing is that he's not realizing that he's taking his spot. He doesn't realize it, and he's going to figure out when it's probably too late, or when he probably loses Sammy, or when the whole inner circle falls apart, which could possibly happen next week.
We're seeing like that already take shape, where Sammy just going off on Jericho, calling him a tag team slut. That Pride and Powerful being upset at Jericho for forming multiple tag teams when they're the tag team wrestler. And it feels like MJF is just basically like, no guys, don't worry, I'm gonna right the ship. Like, he was leading the entire thing. This is exactly what he was doing with Cody, except Cody was able to realize this soon enough. Jericho is so up in his high horse right now in kayfabe wise that he's gonna let this takeover happen. And Savannah, you know this, being a Bullet Club fan too, like it's always that one guy inside that takes over. Kenny did that with AJ. MJF's gonna do that with Jericho.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole reason why he wanted
actually,
to join the faction.
That makes this shirt and vest combo look a little more ironic now, because the Elite turned on AJ. Just kind of thought of that now.
Yep. No, I honestly think that's the whole long-term storytelling is MJF inserted himself into the inner circle to break up the inner circle, which I'm kind of not happy about, because it's the only real like legit faction that exists in AEW right now. Like, you've got a bunch of 3-man teams, tag teams. What, Katie? Why are you making
Dark
faces?
Order? The Dark Order is a faction.
No, the Dark
Yes,
Order.
they are.
Dark Order is the Insane
Yes, they
Clown
are.
Posse.
No, they are fucking not.
Who hangs out
Shut
on
the
YouTube.
hell up. No.
We're going to talk about them because I've got a bone to pick with you, and it's our next segment.
All right, let's go.
I listened to the Smacked Raw AEW recap, and I
That's me.
specifically heard you say, along with Kevin Crazy, that you were leaning towards being okay with Hangman Adam Page joining the Dark Order.
Katie! No!
Savannah, shh.
Thank you.
Savannah, you didn't hear that.
Yeah.
No.
She said
Listen.
that shit.
She did. I did. I did. I'm all flustered now. Listen,
I thought you were
Savannah.
ready. I thought you were ready, Katie. You said
Vince, shut up.
I'm here. I'm all ears, Katie. I want to hear.
Listen,
I feel
Hangman.
betrayed.
I know you love Hangman. You
So do I.
are. You are my
I
Hangman.
have 2 of them up there right now.
I know. Listen, what has Hangman been doing since Kenny dropped him? Literally dropped him.
Being wasted for the talent that he is. He has so much potential. I can go on for hours about this.
She's so smart.
Hangman
Thank you for bringing her up.
deserves better. Even not just in AEW, everywhere he's been has never been used to his full potential that I know he could reach. And it may come full circle at some point, but I don't need him joining a faction that's only going to hurt him as a singles wrestler if he joins the damn faction. Because notice how in the inner circle, no one is really a singles competitor. With the exception of Jericho winning and losing the AEW title, no one in the inner circle has ever held singles gold. Ever. And it doesn't even look like no one's gonna come close anytime soon. So joining a faction is gonna hurt him, especially if you have other sort of like stars that are gonna be at the same level than like being over, like John Silver, and especially at some point before unfortunately he passed away, Brody was probably going to be up there with him if he joined. So there's just too much competition for him to get the singles run he truly deserves. So
No,
and I can go on more.
I know you can, trust me. And I can agree with that. I mean, but this is my reasoning for it. Dark Order right now, leaderless. You can say Evil Uno's a leader, kind of. If Hangman joins, which he hasn't wrestled in how long?
I don't think he
Since
fits.
Brody's tribute.
2 or 3 weeks ago, yeah.
Like singles wise.
No, I know, I understand. And that I honestly, I think it was against Silver, was it not? Or was that no?
It was against
Was
someone in the Dark Order, but at least
no, because
he'll get in the ring. He'll be able to show off what he can do. Whether it's tagging with Silver and Reynolds, which he has fantastic chemistry with, he has chemistry with the Dark Order. And if you're gonna put Hangman, who is a star, on his own or in a group, like he did not get the shine he deserved being in the Elite, being in Bullet Club, I know that. Give him the shot in Dark Order. See where it takes him, because he's not doing anything right now. He's just been drinking backstage.
Or get him as far away from the fucking Dark Order as possible and build him up as a singles wrestler to take on Kenny Omega. Because
that's actually what I think might come full circle at some point. Well, it is a small theory I might have, especially after what happened, which comes later with the Elite. But the thing is that number one, all kayfabe aside, do you really think it's kind of like, I hate to say it, like appropriate to replace Brody as
no, not like fully. You're not gonna be like, yes, Hangman is now the leader.
You want him to lead it. You want him to be the leader. That was Brody.
He's gonna be the one who, like, he's not gonna be Brody Lee, obviously, because no one can replace Brody Lee. Like, he was the exalted one. He's just gonna be their highest member in the Dark Order. They're not gonna call him the leader.
Why? Because he's the tallest.
Which is why this is I'm kind of iffy, because the BTE, which I don't watch, but the comedy side of the Dark Order, which is prominent on BTE, is slowly leaking into my Dynamite more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I said they're running around like the Insane Clown Posse backstage with the masks on. No disrespect to the Dark Order or Brody Lee, but that comedy aspect, especially now that Brody's gone, is more prominent, and the serious side of the Dark Order has kind of evaporated. So until they figure out what they're doing with the Dark Order, I feel like it is a very bad idea to shove Hangman into that mix when it's kind of in flux and they don't know what they're going to do, because then he's also in flux teaming with John Silver and that other guy that no one cares about every week doing funny shit.
Alex Reynolds.
Yeah.
And also, like, don't you, like, do you really think they're gonna let him shine as a singles wrestler there? I feel like if he joins the Dark Order, he's just gonna be in a tag team. If anything, he'll go for the tag titles again, which, he had a fantastic run with Kenny, but again, it really kind of, he was basically in, and I hate to say it because I love Kenny too, but he was basically in the shadow of Kenny and the Bucks, because they were still kind of like the Elite and stuff. They were still together. They were still cohesive. Hangman was in their shadow, and that's why I couldn't blame him when he wanted to leave. He was so desperate to leave, and they didn't understand why, because they will never understand why until someone, and maybe the Bucks will soon come to understand that what it's like to be in someone else's shadow, being swept to the side,
Like, I have a couple points before we move on to the next segment. Going off of what Savannah just said, that's probably the most interesting and invested I have been in Hangman in forever, is when he decided, I want to be on my own. I want to be my own man. I don't want to be in anybody's shadow. And I feel like they've kind of like went away from that a little bit. Him leaning more into the drinking aspect of things, going off of what Matt said about Dark Order being a little bit more comedy-esque, BET version of Dark Order being on Dynamite. I actually prefer the more serious cult-like faction like aspect of Dark Order, and if that's what Hangman Page was joining, I'd be more for it. But given that on TV, it's night and day what you see on Dark Order with Dark Order now. Like, I saw their segment, it felt very comedy-esque, and I don't want that for Hangman, because you run the risk of him being a comedy guy when he should be a serious contender for that AEW title.
Exactly. And that Cowboy Day shit is just a prime example of what I'm afraid of. It's that, seeing that really, like, at first I thought it was funny, but it was more like like forced laughter. Like, really?
Yeah,
because
it was.
I know he's so much more capable of something other than fucking Cowboy Day. Like, are you serious? Like, if that was a taste of what being in the Dark Order is gonna be like for Hangman, like,
No,
Stay
and
the hell away, Hangman. I will.
Aesthetically pleasing, like aesthetically wise, Hangman doesn't fit the aesthetic of the Dark Order.
Exactly. His whole cowboy persona.
No, now unless he's
It
gonna
does
be
not
like
fit with the Dark Order.
black leather cowboy, and he's gonna like lean into some kind of dominatrix
cowboy.
thing.
You
then-
might have something there now, Vince.
Yeah, then I'm feeling like
Black leather
dominatrix.
assless chaps.
Yes, then you don't join Dark Order. Now you take Dark Order in a new direction, and now you have something here. I feel
Now
like
I'm
that-
joining you, Katie, and now you're shaking your head. No, now you're out. I put Hangman in black
You know,
leather
yes,
assless chaps, and now it's not okay.
Who doesn't want to see Hangman in assless chaps? Come on, man.
I agree.
I'm like, who wants to?
See?
Savannah be first in line.
We got a fan.
There you go.
We'll
Don't
find
ask
out
Katie.
next week.
I'm crazy.
We're gonna find out next week because after the match, Hangman is supposed to deliver his response as to whether or not he is going to join
That's
the Dark
what I'm
Order.
worried about because next week happens to be Brody Lee Jr.'s birthday, and I did hear this on your recap because I was able to tune in, but I was late. But I did tune in around that time, Katie, on the recap, and like fucking Kevin was like, you know, how could he say no to joining the Dark Order on Brody Lee Jr.'s birthday? That's what I'm afraid of. Unless like the only thing I can think of is unless like Brody like -1 comes out himself and like personally doesn't want Hangman or something, some weird shit like that happens. I don't know. Or maybe he like maybe -1 thinks like you're replacing my father. That's not gonna happen. Something. But if that just me thinking off the top of my head, who knows if that's even gonna happen. But like because it's his answer is gonna be revealed this Wednesday when it's his birthday, it just makes it feel like it's probably going to be yes because of the circumstances, which kind of like upsets me. But if it is for -1, then obviously I can understand, but I still won't exactly be happy about it.
I really enjoyed turning Savannah against you there. That was fun, but I won't do it again, Katie. I'm sorry.
I know, I'm sorry, Katie, but
No,
Katie,
it's
I'm
fine. Like,
sorry. I love
no,
you.
Savannah, don't
I love you.
apologize. That's what this is for.
No, I'm just,
And I
No,
was
I know,
just
I
gonna,
love
you. I did it.
I was gonna say something else, but it's fine now.
no, wait, I want to hear it.
No. Like, I can see both sides to everything because I'm not like, I'm obviously
Can you
because
see
I
both
do.
sides of Hangman's cheeks on those buttless chaps? That is the bigger question at work here, Katie.
That is how is Vince?
How did you expect to come on this podcast and not talk about assless chaps?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not
Especially on
surprised it
Hangman.
came up, but like, Vince.
I mean,
Look.
is this really worse than dealing with Kevin?
I get
No,
what you're
nothing's
saying,
worse than
Katie.
dealing with Kevin.
There is a good chemistry between John Silver, Hangman Page, and I could see why you enjoy that. I don't mouth his name because he's not important. We don't need he's just the other guy.
I didn't say his name.
So I can see why that would be appealing, but Hangman is really the only AEW wrestler that's AEW that wasn't in WWE that I immediately attached myself to, and I was like, he can go. That's a guy. I'm about that shit. Like, I didn't like Kenny. I wasn't a big fan of the Bucks. It is what it is, Savannah. I didn't like Kenny. He's
I
growing on
know
me now.
that.
Okay, you were with.
I know.
Okay.
He's growing on me now. But when he first came in, I'm like, I don't see all the hype. He's just as good as everyone else. Anyway,
Oh, but did you wait? Okay, but did you watch Kenny in Japan?
No.
I watched his match with Jericho, and I was like, that was not as impressive as
Oh.
everyone said.
Okay,
You're
before
gonna make
Jericho,
Savannah
that was in
leave.
2018.
No, I
know, like-
I don't watch New Japan.
That is your problem then. You need to watch him in Japan. That's all I'm gonna say because I even went
whoa,
on
whoa,
a
whoa,
full
hold
ass
on.
rant.
Wait, real quick
Oh,
before,
here
because
we
we do have to move on, but I am just going to point out that if he is as good as everyone says he is, and he is an EVP of a company, I should need to go back 2 years to watch him wrestle. I should be seeing it every week on the show.
I
that
don't
he
like
runs.
how AEW's like I like that he's heel, but I hate the Don Callis shit, and I hate that he's not the Kenny that we were promised. He is not, and that's
He's not
what
the claimant.
really upset me. And I've gone on full ass rants on my Instagram story over how we are never getting New Japan Kenny back like we were promised.
And I'm glad you
Never.
brought that up because that was the next segment. And I actually really enjoy Don Callis. I enjoy this whole thing, this door that they have opened up by putting Kenny with Don Callis, sending him to Impact, bringing in the Good Brothers, doing this, it sets a precedence that we could see Jordan Grace versus Hikaru Shida. We could see different things happen, different people come in, and we had the Good Brothers wrestle on Impact. Kenny is going to go wrestle on Hard to Kill or Hard Justice or Hard Cock, whatever their next
Hard to
pay-per-view
Kill.
is. Hard to Kill. There we go.
Hard cock.
He's going to go wrestle on that show. So like, if Kenny can go wrestle there, there's no reason why Britt Baker or Hikaru Shida can't go wrestle there, or Serena Deeb, or why one of them can't come over. Tony could be pissed off at Don Callis and Kenny and say, all right, well, if you're going to take our talent, I'm going to take Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna, why don't you come on over to AEW and have a match against one of our talent and get seen on a worldwide basis in front of fans and play that up? It sets a really cool precedence by doing this.
I'm not against the opportunities that it's brought. I just don't like fucking Don Callis. That's the thing. I don't care about fucking Don Callis.
Ain't
I don't.
You
Nobody
love
likes Don
Kenny
Callis.
Omega, you love Chris Jericho, but the third guy from Winnipeg you've got a problem with?
Yes, fuck him.
Oh wow. It's
So
because he's not blonde, that's why.
yeah. So we set this whole thing up with Kenny and Don backstage, and Don saying, yeah, you're his best friends, we're gonna go out there, but I think Kenny should have his own entrance, you guys should get to do your own thing, blah blah blah. He introduces Kenny first, he kicks our poor boy out of the ring, grabs the mic, and introduces Kenny's best friends, the Good Brothers, the World Tag Team Champions. They come out, and it is them versus Brian Pillman Jr., Griff Garrison, and a man with the dumbest name I've ever heard in my life, Danny Limelight. I don't know where the fuck you got that, but go check out Putting You Over. You might find out, because they did have him over on Putting You Over. So go check that out. They're good people. The Bullet Club, or whatever you want to call them. What is it? Kyle calls them the Bully Club.
Bull Elite Club.
Bully Elite Club.
I told him it was bad too. Don't worry.
I was like, I can't be the only one who thinks that's worse than Don Callis.
They get the win. Mox comes out angry, not caring that it's 3-on-1, goes to attack. The Lucha Bros, for whatever reason, decide to come down and save Mox and get involved.
That was weird. No, because it was the Bucks. The Bucks came out first, and they were trying to like talk Mox out of like, like they were trying to talk him out of it, like trying to like stop him.
Came out
no, that
last.
was the Bucks came out last.
They did. I
Yep.
thought.
Because
you're
Lucha,
right. Never mind. I'm mixing it up. Because then they came out, and then that's when Lucha Bros super kicked them, and then.
Yep.
That's I mixed it up.
Lucha Bros attack the Good Brothers, and then like the whole locker room empties to try and separate them, but they keep going. Then finally the Young Bucks come down, and they're just trying to stop Moxley. Like, they're not. You'd think after being shunned by Kenny, after him saying, "You're my best friends, we're gonna go do this," and then getting swept aside for the Good Brothers, that maybe you'd be on Mox's side. Like, I expected the Bucks to come out first and have maybe have Moxley's back. But no, they waited, they hung out, they watched shit happen, and they came out and tried to stop Mox from getting into a fight, and they caught super kicks, which is what they deserve, because the fuck? How are you gonna get punked out like that? Like, come on.
One thing I will say before, like, is that I like how, like the WWE, they bring out the wrestlers they absolutely never use to try and break up the fight. That's what they did.
Well, I think like me and Kevin, I think, talked about it. This could very well lead to like an AEW versus Impact type scenario, and it's going to be interesting to see where the Bucks will lie. Like, because Kenny's more than likely going to be Team Impact because his relationship with the Good Brothers, Don Callis, and obviously you could have Mox leading the charge for AEW, and it'd be very interesting if they do it correctly to see where the Bucks' loyalty lies, to the company they built or to their best friend.
Definitely to the company they built.
You would think, but
smart.
Also, too, they have bad blood with Impact, so
I was gonna say the whole, especially if you read their book, they were absolutely.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
It's WWE might as well have booked them in Impact because it was bad. Like,
that was before,
especially
Don
if you read their
Callis
book.
And the other guy, though, right?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, so
Max and Jeremy, like, will they make a return, or will Matt and Nick remain with us?
After that, we had probably the biggest clusterfuck. I was not a fan of the waiting room. Here's my thing.
It
So
was
Cody
really
comes out, he
bad.
doesn't really get to say anything. Britt talks over him, introduces Jade. She cuts her promo about not waiting. She threatens a pregnant woman, slaps Cody, and then Red Velvet shows up, which again, don't understand why Red Velvet gives a shit because Brandy hasn't had her back for months now.
And then she gets pregnant and she will no longer have her back.
Exactly. The women's locker room empties and tries to separate them. Then Britt's playing with her phone, and there's a video of her beating up Thunder Rosa, who then just pops up and cuts a promo, which was actually good, making the match for Beach Break, which Britt had a shit fit about because she's not happy. Tony said she didn't have to do it, but now the match is made. It was way too much for one segment. You crammed too much in, and there wasn't any kind of like break or transition from one thing to another. Things just kept happening, and it was a lot in my face.
I will say that I loved Britt in the entire segment. I thought she was gold. I don't know, just something about it just felt right. It felt perfect to me. I liked, she stood out to me inside the entire clusterfuck. When Cody was there, it made sense. Like even like the whole like contract they obligated, like pyro, like in the entrance. I think once Jade and everybody else came in, I think that's when things got a little messy. Thunder Rosa, you said she cut a great promo. I speak both languages, and I thought it was promo. It was more on the Ember Moon-esque type promos for me. I didn't like it. I was not a fan of it. I didn't think her delivery was all that well. Maybe it translates better when you don't understand.
That's not meh. That's like trashing her. That's not meh.
Nah.
That's
I didn't like the promo,
meh,
man.
but then you continue to like.
I didn't like the promo. I thought the delivery wasn't there. I just didn't. I didn't think it was all there. Like I was all for Britt and everything she was doing in that entire segment. She was the star. She stood out to me. She put the title on her. Jeez.
Do you think that things would have been different without the whole clusterfuck with Jade and Cody and stuff? Like if it was just the waiting room with Britt and then Thunder Rosa interrupts and then it just kind of like you cut that whole middle chunk out. Do you think that would have been better?
I felt like it would have been better, and I honestly feel like it was two waiting room episodes bunched in together. Like they could have done the Cody
it was a
one
merger,
and then the
like...
Thunder Rosa one. So that's what it felt like to me. But they have something here with the waiting room, I feel like.
I would actually like to see an actual waiting room where there are wrestlers sitting outside waiting for Britt to call them in for an interview, and there's just a small segment of them like having a conversation, and then the person that doesn't get called in,
like,
I was gonna say the person that doesn't get called in this week is still in the waiting room next week, and we just assume they've been there for a week, just waiting,
wearing the same thing.
That's what I want to see.
That'd actually be really funny.
That sounds great. Man.
That sounds good. That's a good idea.
Thank you. Then we had FTR defeat Jurassic Express. This is Marco Stunt, who's got balls the size of two of Dax's head, along with Jungle Boy. FTR gets the win here, but I mean, Travis always says, Travis is my co-host, who or was my co-host, he'll be here about once a month. Always said it should be Marco Stunt and Luchasaurus. That's the money tag team from that group. You don't think so?
No.
Why not?
No. I feel like between the
go ahead, Savannah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I like kind of like how I know we talked about factions, but I feel like with 3-man tag teams, I feel like Jungle Boy could be the singles competitor of the three. I feel like he's more than likely to win like the TNT title than the other two.
Oh well, for sure. But like, I don't think Marco should even. I mean, listen.
You want him being the one who just distracts and runs around.
Yeah, like I give Marco props like for being as small as he is, and he's going out there and he's honestly killing it. But the chemistry Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus have is kind of unbeatable. But I can also see Jungle Boy, who is a star. I mean, he went toe-to-toe with Jericho, lasted the 10 minutes or whatever, has had fantastic matches against MJF. It's like the whole Hangman thing. I can see both sides of it. I can see him just being with Luchasaurus and Marco kind of just being their mascot, as FTR calls them, or Jungle Boy being the star that he will be at least in the next like year or two going against MJF.
That's fair. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Jungle Boy feels like he's 2 years away from being 2 years away. Like he feels like he has potential and he could be a future star, but he's still like ways away from getting there to me. I feel like he's still very green.
I feel like him and Griff Garrison seem like they would fit well together because they could be like twins. Like you could just pretend they're brothers, kind of like Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
Like not really brothers, but they are, and you just stick those two together and let them, marinate for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite match of the night, Serena Deeb versus Takanti. First off, Takanti killed it. That is the person I want to see join the Dark Order. I don't give a fuck about Hangman joining, but please put Takanti in the Dark Order. Her, that ass, Latinas do it better. All of it, Dark Order. Stamp it.
I'm with it.
Yeah. I'm surprised she hasn't yet. Because like especially with Anna Jay being her best friend.
Or like in the tag team when they had like the women's tag team thing, wasn't Anna Jay our partner then?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I thought around that time she would have probably joined.
I like those two together. And I got to say, Anna Jay is, first off, I looked up Anna Jay to see A, how old she was, and B, who trained her. Well, no, because I was going to make a point because I see all these people on Twitter talking about and who's got the best ass, Anna Jay or Takanti, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, are you guys the same people that were mad about the Mysterio Buddy Murphy thing when you're in your 30s, you like foaming over the mouth over Anna Jay's ass? She is 21 or 22, I believe. So she's not 19. I'm with you, but she is at least of legal drinking age. So there's that.
Yeah.
Well, it's neither of them. It's Hangman with those assless chaps.
I agree.
Fucking.
So that's why I looked it up. But while I looked it up, I saw that the people that trained her to wrestle are Glacier and QT Marshall.
Yeah.
That is not what I would put down on my resume.
She needs to hit up Billy Kay to like shore up that resume of hers.
Yeah, something. No, don't get me wrong. Like I don't give two shits about QT Marshall, his athlete and ass. And Glacier is Glacier. He was a Sub-Zero knockoff in WCW that went nowhere. But Takanti, I mean, she can fucking go. WWE really lost a star in her. Those arm drags, the kicks, like everything she did against Serena, and Serena being Serena, who sells like shit. And by the way, Luke Gallows, Serena Deeb, that is what 2/3 of Straight Edge Society events that we had on AEW. How'd you feel about that? Your little group.
I love it. Part of. Love it. I think we just need a CM Punk cameo appearance, kind of like where
if we could get Gallows, Deeb, and CM Punk just like backstage running into each other.
Troy Mercury.
Whoa.
Troy Mercury in there. He was in there towards the end of the faction.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
I don't even remember him being a part of that.
Trust me, I do.
They need to push Takanti. She's definitely got some talent. She's got a future. And then we finish it with Darby Allin defeating Brian Cage, retaining the new TNT title, which everyone said is redesigned, but they really just changed the color of the strap, and I don't consider it redesigned, but that's neither here nor there.
The strap is important, Matt. We addressed this last week.
Yeah, no, and my wife agreed with you, and it hurt me to my soul, so fuck you for that. Here's the thing. Sting actually did something. He came down and hit someone with the fucking bat. He didn't just stand there and scare people. He hit Ricky
with
Starks
the fake
with the bat.
snow.
Starks sold the shit out of it. And then as I posted in the Smack Raw family group chat, someone pointed out that there is a story here that he lost that TNT title match to Cody using a crucifix, and Taz interviewed him post-match and criticized his crucifix. And Darby said, I know how to do it. I don't need you to tell me, which is kind of what led to the Taz Darby issue. So now Darby used that crucifix to beat Taz's boy and get the pin, and kind of like a fuck you. I told you I knew how to do this, because a lot of people weren't happy with the finish of the match and the way it went down. But if you look at it from that aspect of he used the move that Taz said he didn't know how to do right to get the win over Taz's guy, that's some pretty damn good storytelling.
Yeah,
it's probably the only
Darby
time like
Allin.
a roll up could be really acceptable.
Exactly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of AEW Dynamite, which means I have one question and one question only for you. AEW, spit or swallow?
I'm on the fence here, man. I'm a gargle undecidedly.
That's fair. You can do that. That's an option. Katie?
I gotta think for a second. I was actually trying to think of my answers for these before I came on, and I forgot.
I love the shirt, by the way. It's a very nice shirt.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
What? Crazy.
We got to get you one with the new design, though.
Yeah, you do. I'm with Vince. I'll gargle.
Savannah.
Okay. For the women's match, I'll swallow, but for the rest, I'll gargle.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm swallowing solely on Takanti. I will swallow
That's not
Takanti.
surprising.
I'll
And
swallow
for
Takanti 3
Hangman
days a
and
week.
assless chaps.
And Hangman and Ass. Well, that didn't
Oh,
happen.
you know what?
I
No,
can't-
no.
No, that's
I'm
true.
a swallow
but-
now just because of the assless chap reference. That's something that should happen. I'm swallowing assless chaps. That's what we're
That-
doing.
Be-
That's the
yeah, because
yes.
we brought.
One good thing came out of Dynamite: assless chaps, leather.
It didn't actually happen though.
That's what I
Oh,
said. I
in
can't
here.
swallow on
In here, it
not getting
happened.
assless
In
chaps.
here, it
That's
happened.
no, Vince.
But
That's not
on
how
the
that
In
fact
fucking
my
that
works.
it came
heart,
up
it happened,
during
Katie. Don't take
this-
this from me, damn it.
I'm taking it from
yeah,
you.
Katie.
Shut up, Savannah.
No.
Vince, tweet out Hangman assless chaps. See if we can get that going like Bailey in shorts.
Oh my god. Bailey in shorts is never gonna die.
It's not. Savannah, where would you like to go next? NXT, Raw, or SmackDown?
Let's do NXT because I watched it this morning.
Beautiful. It's Vince's favorite show. And we kick it off with some bullshit. Candice cheats to beat the best woman on the roster, Shotzi Blackheart, in her fantastic tank. And RN is coming
Okay.
around to see the light that Shotzi is fucking amazing. So that's plus.
Wait, he didn't think so?
No.
He does
He
not
hated-
like Shotzi entrance. What he doesn't like the tank. He doesn't like the
He's,
howling.
he's
or
coming.
the
He's coming
promos.
around to the tank. He's coming around. to the
Okay.
tank.
He's coming
Because I'm
around.
thinking like that's probably the most unique entrance that anyone has ever had, you know? Because you see the tank seems like something that regular wrestlers, but like people would do like for pay-per-view
Not for me.
entrances, not just their every typical week entrances. It seems like a pay-per-view entrance, and the fact that she does it every time she competes, no matter where it is, I think that's badass. I think it's cool.
So
Oh,
I'm gonna
the
teach you something real
badass.
quick, Katie. I'm recording, so when everyone watches this, they're only gonna see what I see. So if she's
Yeah,
right
that's
here
true.
for me, that's all that matters.
I mean, you're right.
Technically,
Listen.
right now, everyone's watching you just point at your crotch because there's no one below you on my screen.
There's no one below. What?
No, there
It's
isn't.
me in the upper right hand corner. It's Vince in the left. You're below Vince, and then Savannah's below me.
Oh,
So there's no
mean,
one below
whatever.
you. You're just pointing down your crotch right now for no reason.
whatever. Whatever.
Hilarious.
But yeah, no, Candace cheated. My love, Shotzi Blackheart, and I'm hurt. Vince, thoughts? This is
It
your
was a-
show. This is your thing.
It was a really good match, man. Honestly, like I thought it was a good build up because it set up what led up later on in the night where Shotzi needed a partner for the Dusty Cup, and we're bound to have the way like the female segment of the way face off against Shotzi and Ember Moon at some point.
So excited! I fucking called that.
The minute it happened, I thought of you, Matt.
That's not the only thing that we'll get into it. We'll get into it when we get to SmackDown. It was a
He's
really good
so-
week for me
he's
this
so
week. It was a
giddy.
really good week.
So
for me.
giddy.
He's
Look
so
at him.
happy.
Then we had Dunn, Lorcan, and Birch. So we need to decide on a name for this group, especially with Pat McAfee not there, because they're not for the brand. They don't call them Kings of NXT anymore, but I need to call them something, even if it's just for the show. Because as again, we're going to talk about on SmackDown, things I say in the show just manifest themselves on the WWE television, and I'm super excited for it. So we got to figure out a name to call Dunn, Lorcan, and Birch.
Fuck if I
Like,
know.
like just like any name.
Well, I mean, something entertaining and fun. We're not just
Because
gonna
I
call
don't
them, like,
really ever since AEW, I haven't really kept up with NXT. Like I watch occasionally, but this might be a dumb question. They're British, right? They're
That's wait. I
2/3
got
of
it.
them are British.
Two-thirds
2/3.
are.
okay, but we're going with the 2/3 that we're trying to come up with a name for the 2/3 who are, right?
No,
Or no?
All
So-
three.
So I believe
I
Danny
got it.
Birch and Pete Dunne are British,
Oh,
and Oni
okay,
Lorcan is not.
Only's American.
Why?
Oh, okay. Then my name isn't a good idea because it was gonna be HBB instead of Heartbreak Kid, Heartbreak Brits.
Okay.
Okay, I
Which is
say
really
we call
dumb, I know,
them
but
D-Lo. D for Dunn, L for Lorcan, and O for wait, no, that doesn't work.
God damn it, Vince.
Aw.
I was
You just
with
don't
you
want to
too.
include Danny
I
Birch.
was so excited
I
that I
was-
was like, wait, he just said Lorcan and Oni. God damn it.
Boo. Vince,
You know-
NXT is your show. You suck. Boo.
They could be DOB, Dunn, Oni, and Birch.
D-O-B.
Or
Date of
DOD,
birth.
Dunn, Oni,
Date of birth.
POD.
Date of birth.
Pete, Oni,
Bond.
and Danny. POD. Sure. So POD interrupts Finn Balor.
Only if only one of them had a V, it could be POV.
By the way, this is now the Shockmaster because we have Smackin' a Raw finger wrestling, and I'm gonna make that shirt.
Shockmaster.
So
Okay.
So POD interrupts Finn Balor's promo where he's putting over Kyle O'Reilly as an opponent, but saying you're just not on my level. Talking about how Kyle's jaw's fucked up now too. They kind of jump him, and then O'Reilly, of all people, makes the save, but it's still 3-on-2. Then comes Strong and Cole, and they run off POD, and then Kyle and Finn kind of glare sexually at each other. I wasn't sure what was going on. Why are you rolling your eyes? Do not tell me that you could not cut that sexual tension with a knife between those two.
I felt it.
They were eye fucking the shit out of each other.
No, they were not. This is the whole RN with Sting thing all over again.
How?
We did point out that RN and I basically serve the same purpose.
To piss me off in some way, shape, or form. Yes.
No, that's what
I
Kevin.
thought that was Kevin.
No, Kevin pisses me off fully. RN sometimes.
I feel like we more annoy you, more or less. I feel like
I don't know why you are so against the sexual tension.
I'm not. I'm
there. You can cut it with a knife.
I personally didn't see it. Is what I'm
live
saying.
sex celebration between Kyle.
No. We're not bringing this up again.
As long as it's
No,
consensual.
stop.
All right, so Dexter Loomis is sending nudes to Austin and Johnny, hand-drawn nudes.
He
After
drew him
Johnny,
like one of his French girls.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Best tweet of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry.
Dexter sends a drawing to Austin. He opens it up, hands Johnny to him. Austin's laughing, then realizes there's one of him in there too. Johnny, meanwhile, is singing Candace's praises for her bullshit back alley win, that she shouldn't have got over the best wrestler on the roster. And then Johnny is upset, and we find out we've got Dexter versus Johnny later tonight. Then, as RN put it, and I agree, a completely pointlessly long match. The Jobbers, Everrise, go way too long against former NXT UK tag team champions. These guys are tag team champions from NXT UK, and the guys that lose to everyone really made them struggle to get this win. And I was very disappointed, but Grizzled Young Veterans move on, and they go back to catering where they belong, regardless of what Wreak Havoc thinks about their potential.
I don't know about their potential, but hey, good wrestling. It was a good wrestling match. If you take the context out of the fact that it was Everrise against Grizzled Young Vets, it was a really good wrestling.
I just feel like I've seen so many versions of Everrise, and it's not going to go anywhere. Like, they're a knockoff Rockers, they're a knockoff Young Bucks, they're a knockoff Midnight Express. Like, they're not going to go anywhere, in my personal opinion, at least in the current state that they're in. They need a repackaging if they're going to do something with them. Speaking of packages, Giant Gonzalez had an awesome ass video package. I need that to manifest itself on NXT.
No, it's not. That one sure as fuck is not going to. As much as you want it, it's not. That one's not going to
She's looking like a beast, and I am really stoked for her versus Io because that has got to be coming. She beat Rhea. She pinned Io in War Games. Like, that's got to be coming. So Giant Gonzalez, Io Shirai, I'm all for it.
Takeover.
Yeah.
Shotzi and Ember, as we said, tag team. I fucking called it. I put it out in the world. It manifested itself, and it is probably the greatest tag team in the entire Women's Dusty Cup. Just put that out.
Or in general, like in WWE. Like,
imagine Shotzi and Ember coming out on the tank together in war poses, angry and howling. You're gonna get a fucking eclipse, and then I don't even know what Shotzi calls her coffin drop because it's not a coffin drop. I need to figure that out because they haven't really called it anything when she does it. So
isn't it like the ball pit or something? No.
She yells "Welcome to the ball pit," but I don't think it's called the ball pit.
I can look.
Yes.
I can try and look it up.
You're very good at that, and I'd appreciate it. You found out that it was RN's anniversary tonight in like 15 seconds.
I went on the channel and I just.
He didn't even know it was his anniversary until you.
He didn't. I caught it like 10 minutes before midnight hit.
And then the fucking way does it again because now Johnny's cheating Dexter Loomis out of a win. My two favorite people on NXT both got cheated by the way. Apparently they don't know the way.
That's the way to piss Matt off, apparently.
Yeah, no, fuck
Why
that.
isn't there entrance music The Way by Ariana Grande?
Or
Copyright.
I was gonna say The Way by Fastball, but that's because I'm old as fuck. So we're gonna move on. Dexter Lumis gets his grips on Theory and is choking him. Johnny tries to break it up. Kushida runs some interference and takes it to Johnny Gargano, obviously setting up Kushida versus Gargano for the North American title, and hopefully some very uncomfortable Heidenreich-esque Austin Theory Dexter Lumis moments that I'm super excited for.
You want him to get pinned against the wall like Heidenreich pinned Michael Cole?
Yes, actually, you know what I really want? I want Austin Theory at the urinal and for the lights to go out, and then Dexter to just like, as they come on, he's just breathing in his ear really close to him while he's trying to pee. That's what I want.
That's not social distancing, Matt. We have rules in the urinals.
He'll wear a mask.
No, man. It's the
It's
new
weirder.
urinal separation rule that we've had even before COVID, man. You should know this, Matt.
I do, but that's what makes it creepy. Vince is ignoring it. If he's just standing in the, I mean, I guess he could be standing 2 stalls over, just staring daggers at Austin Theory, making him uncomfortable. That's okay too, I guess. Not as fun, but
But do you really think he would be the one to like respect the distance? Like,
she is so smart. Thank you guys for bringing her on. I agree with everything she has
You're
said tonight,
welcome.
except for Kenny Omega.
okay, you know what? I changed my mind. You need to keep
She leaves. She cuts off.
I know. Bye.
We got POD backstage addressing the UE attack and how they're gonna get revenge. Then we have the sit down between Ciampa and Thatcher with Wade Barrett. How did you guys feel about the sit down precursor to next week's Fight Pit? Why do you hate Ciampa?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, I fucking love Tommaso Ciampa. This segment was just
Oh.
stupid. I didn't like
way he
this.
called him
I
Gro-
actually missed the segment, so I can't add anything to
You
this.
didn't miss much, Vince.
Yeah, no, it was just your typical like it was pretty much kind of like it might as well have been like a contract signing. It kind of reminded me of when Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles had that contract signing with Paige for Money in the Bank or something like that. And like AJ just ended up slapping Shinsuke. I thought something like that was gonna go down, but it was just a bunch of
Surprised
talking.
it didn't.
Well, it was Thatcher telling Ciampa, hey, you came after me. And Ciampa basically saying, I'm going to fuck you up in the Fight Pit. And he goes, don't you know, like, my record in the Fight Pit? Which doesn't count because there's only been one, and one guy had to win. So, like, saying I'm undefeated in the Fight Pit when there's only been one fucking Fight Pit is not a valid argument. All right?
Yeah.
I won one match. Oh, okay. Good for you.
I just
It's
think
like saying you're on a
the-
streak.
Yeah.
It's still like I think it's just like a heel thing, especially like in WWE. Remember when after Finn Balor lost the Universal title for holding it for one day, and then Kevin Owens won, he held it like the next Monday Night Raw. I was like, I'm the longest reigning Universal Champion ever. Like, respect
some
me.
heel
I think
shit.
it's something like that. It could be something like that.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
that's Kevin Owens, though, and that was gold. This didn't feel like that's what they were going
No,
for.
I didn't say it was
Vince, you
gold, but
didn't
I'm just
see
saying
the
that's probably why he said it.
No, but based on what you guys are telling me, it didn't
No,
sound like that's
like,
what they were
no,
going
I
with.
Straight
I
up.
agree. I agree. I didn't like the segment, but I'm just saying that could be the reason why he said it.
You didn't
I'm
even
not
see
saying
that
it was
shit.
gold because he said it.
Vince ain't seen that shit. I saw that shit. I recapped that shit.
And you're
Did you
recapping
say
it
it was
again.
shit?
We're also
I recap all the time.
Swerve and
Mhm.
Atlas lose to MSK. And I'm actually really happy about this because as great as Swerve and Atlas were, I did not want to see MSK lose in their debut match. And it was a great match. Like,
Wrestling.
they tore it up.
Those
So,
rascals.
I have never seen anything
Those
from the Rascals
Me
prior to
neither,
this.
but I was really impressed also because I had never seen the Rascals. I have a friend who always talks about them to me, but I've never seen them personally.
Not you.
Oh, that's from Desmond Xavier, and I know that because I got my friend, that same friend, a cameo from him for her birthday, and he did that. He was like, "It's Desmond." Xavier."
That's the rascal thing. That's their thing.
Oh well, I don't know. I
Little
don't
Rascals,
fucking
that
watch
makes
Oh,
them.
I love the fucking rascals. Like me, my sister, and like all our friends, we go to all these indie shows here in Chicago and in the Midwest area, and they're always wrestling. We fucking love the rascals. So when Desmond Xavier or Jackie
Wesley.
Chan, Jackie Chan, and Chris Tucker showed up. You know, the Carter and Lee reference. Like, I didn't notice that until like afterwards on Twitter. Someone pointed it out. But how ironic is it that it's Lee and Carter?
Do you know who pointed it out? You want to shout them out and give them some credit?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, you're just gonna steal their shit.
Yes, I'm
Wow,
gonna steal their shit.
fucking rude.
Twitter
Lie, cheat,
user,
steal.
shout
Lie,
out.
cheat, steal.
Also, I'm bringing it back. Shotzi's finisher has no name. It's literally just called the diving senton.
See, there we go. That's why I don't know it, and it needs a name. Another thing that I need. What does MSK stand for?
We don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know yet.
Mean Street Kids, kind of like the Mean Street Posse.
No.
Is that what we're going with?
Do I have to look that up too if it has
No,
a name yet?
I don't think it does. They definitely didn't say it if it does.
They definitely
They
did.
just said, "Who is MSK?" Not what is MSK.
Wait,
Then we had
what were the names? Nash Carter and Wesley Lee, or like what,
Yeah,
wait,
Wes.
No, it's Wesley. It's supposed to sound kind of like Stanley, but Wesley.
Yeah.
Wesley and Nash Carter. I want to shout out my friend Lizzie. You can find her on Twitter at Horchata. She made a
now we shout it out.
That's a great name.
She's like, Nash Carter sounds like the most white trash name there is. It's perfect for Zach, and she gets along with Zach. So that's whole Zach's thing is like he's white trash, you know, basically. So it's like a perfect name for him. So shout out to Lizzie.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this for the people that are actually over were born like before 1995, since you guys are all fucking young as shit. There was a game called Double Dragon, and they made a movie called Double Dragon, and in it you had Jimmy Lee and Billy Lee, and there's a scene in there where they're being made fun of and picked on, and they're talking about their names, and he's like, which one of you is ugly? Because their last name was Lee, and I fucking loved it. So that's what Wesley reminded me of, is Bill Lee and Jim Lee. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
I thought it was funny, Matt.
Fucking children. Scarlett, thank you, Katie. Scarlett's tarot card reading, which seduced the shit out of me, literally has me on a Pornhub latex deep dive right now. Really cool. Sets up her, you know, possible future opponents that we can see for Karrion Kross in the future, and where his goals lie, ultimately being taking that title from Finn Balor. I really love everything they've been doing with Scarlett and Kross, and that was, like I said last week, probably one of the best matches I saw from Kross was his match against Damian Priest. I really enjoyed that. Then we got Xia Li. Whew, yeah, we got fucking Wesley and Xia Li, and just anyway. This I like this better because this went a lot quicker. She came out and just whooped some fucking ass.
Yep.
And then you've got whoever the fuck that is up on the rampway, giving her the finisher sign like Shang
Today's
Tsung.
jobber.
Yeah. Just give her the finisher, and then she ended the match. I enjoy that. Her just chilling like Shang Tsung in her little throne.
Yeah, I was
making
about to
calls.
make a Shang Tsung reference. I love it.
Your soul is mine.
Oh, so my dream match is this new version of Xia Li versus Io Shirai. I feel like that match would slap.
I'm actually kind of hoping that these, like, we find out who this is, and these two enter the Dusty Women's Cup.
I think it's too soon for that, Matt.
Nah, I'm about it. I want it to happen.
No, I'm all for it. I want it to happen. I just think it's
maybe
too
too
soon.
soon.
Too soon.
We also had a Casey Express promo where they basically said, we want everyone to underestimate us. Underestimate us because we're going to win.
I like them. They're cool.
Did you just laugh at Casey Express? Because that's what they were called. They
Were
dropped
they
it.
actually?
Yes.
Casey Cannizzaro
and Caden Carter. KC Express. That's what they
They've
went
had
by.
this name for like a year now.
I didn't make that dumb shit up.
I just don't like it. Well, they don't call, like, the two of them, like, outside of NXT do not call themselves that. They call themselves Team Ninja, which is what I call them.
That would be way better. Go with Team Ninja. I mean, might be a little offensive, but I'm okay with it.
I mean, Case Catanzaro was on American Ninja Warrior, so
Yeah, I thought that was why they called.
That's why.
themselves
Team American.
Oh, okay.
Ninja,
It's
maybe?
because like. That I was
Just saying.
trying too hard.
Xia Li might get angry and fuck them up. She might take exception to that.
Then even better, for a better reason for them to call it that.
There you go. You want Xylee to beat people up? There you go.
Oh, yeah.
I want Xylee to beat me up, honestly. I take a cake.
I mean,
for the
kind of
team.
same.
Oh my god. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I'm not the only weird one who would love to get beat up by someone.
Yeah.
Because I always ask Katie, I always say, oh, Kenny Omega can like give me a V trigger.
It's very true.
That sounds
Or like on Impact when he choked out Motor City Machine Guns and Rich Swann with his shirt. I put on my story. I said, "Well, how much do you want? I'll pay you to choke me with your shirt, Kenny."
Savannah, you need to follow my friend Lizzie at Horchata. She does all these kind of tweets all the goddamn time.
Oh man.
Yeah, that is me. If you see my stories, that is me on Instagram all the time. And
Yeah,
I want Kenny
Savannah's
I
thirsty
want
for Kenny.
Kenny, Hangman, and Jericho for sure. Those are like the 3. 4 Horsemen if
Yes.
you want to include maybe
I'm seeing
AJ
a
or Matt
blonde
Jackson.
theme here.
so what you're saying is you would let Kenny take
Matt Jackson
or
isn't
you would
blonde.
take Kenny's V
And
trigger?
Hell yeah.
Would you let Kenny take your V trigger?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Ay, Dios mío.
I heard what I heard. We're all adults
No,
here.
no, it's all right.
I made sure. I
We're
checked
all,
IDs.
we're all of,
Exactly.
we're all of the
You want
HBT.
me to-
I checked
I'm
IDs.
not even joking. The answer would be
Check.
yes.
I've been on the show
Okay,
4
I'll
times, I
be
hope.
I like how
even
Katie's
joking.
the one that's more shook by these comments than Savannah. Savannah's like, yeah, I'm
I'm
all
not
for
even,
this.
the answer would be yes. I'm
Oh,
all
I know,
for
but it just
Hangman
catches me
Lagan's
off guard
best,
every
and I'm
time
all
she
for
says it.
Kenny.
It's fucking hysterical. I love it.
Our main event was Breezango losing to the Undisputed Era. We had POD come down and attack Kyle O'Reilly, and it looked like they were going to fuck his face up real good. They had him pressed up against that truss, the
Like
the
the
beam.
scaffolding is what I'm calling
Yeah.
it.
Finn comes down and makes the save, saves Kyle O'Reilly's job, but Finn gets dropped. I'm actually all for Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor. I actually kind of want Pete Dunne to be the one to take the title off Finn. I know it's not going to happen because it's probably going to be Cross, but I'd love to see Pete Dunne with a little NXT title run after the run he had as NXT UK champ.
I just want him to put a strap in his mouth again. That's what I wanna
Phrasing.
Oh, like a strap, like what they call a championship belt in wrestling, you know, like the
Yeah,
strap.
well, sir, do
You-
you know what show you're on?
I'm like, do you know?
He does know
I was
what
gonna
show he's
say
on.
that. I was like, do you not know where
I'm
you're
basically
at?
addressing RN's concerns from last week's podcast, saying like I'm not as vulgar as I need to be.
I told RN I bring it out in you. Like I've been slowly drawing that out of you over.
Oh,
the
it's
last-
always been there, baby.
I
just,
know.
like,
I'm
a little
just
bit more
I'm bringing
low-key
it to the
about
surface. I bring it out of everyone. I bring it out of Katie. I've brought it out of Savannah here tonight, where we just talked about Kenny taking her V trigger.
I would absolutely let him.
You are never going to be able to hear that again on AEW and not laugh. Just so you know.
I know.
Uh,
Well, I'm gonna be very weird. Like, I'm gonna just be thinking about that every time I thirst over Kenny on my story now, especially blonde Kenny.
so
Oh, fuck.
NXT spit or swallow.
Oh, I
wanna-
swallow NXT every week. You
I-
know this.
unless you guys want to cover Breezango versus Undisputed Era a little more in depth.
I will say this, that I had the prediction that Breezango were going to advance because DOB or whatever you dubbed them, we're going
POD.
to yeah,
Beauty?
POD, we're going to go ahead and like screw Adam Cole and Roderick Strong out of that match somehow.
You are
And
Hispanic and you can't. You're fucking a POD.
You know what?
They sang Rey Mysterio's theme song.
I didn't make that connection until just now.
Disgrace.
What the fuck?
Dishonor.
Booyaka, booyaka, Vince.
You are-
Jesus Christ.
You're no longer Delgado. You're like Davis.
Daddy Davis.
Daddy Davis. Make the shirt.
So anyway, continue, Vince. I'm sorry. You just.
I know,
No,
sorry,
yeah.
but-
So I was just kind of like under the impression that the whole Undisputed Era versus POD like rivalry wasn't going to be finished, and this was a way to go ahead and advance Breezango without them taking the loss. Obviously, that wasn't the case.
well, mind
But
you,
I mean, I feel like attacking Kyle O'Reilly was part of that.
and POD is still part of the tournament, so we may see Undisputed Era versus Lorcan and Birch later on.
Hopefully, That's where I hope it goes. I'm just kind of disappointed Breezango didn't advance and got eliminated in the first round. I love
Wait,
Breezango.
are Lorcan and Birch in the Dusty Classic?
No, I think the winners face them.
Okay. So then that'll be the story, is them trying to keep Undisputed Era from getting to them.
Oh,
them.
so that. Oh, okay. So now it.
So do you
kinda makes
think so do you think Undisputed Era is gonna win again?
Oh, they have to. This is a new combination. This is probably a very deathly combination.
Yeah,
of
and it
Roger
has
Strong
Adam
and
Cole.
Baby. And you have the Messiah, the backbreaker, Roderick Strong. Like, Jesus,
Okay,
Did you
but
throw
yeah,
your
but
shoulder
Adam
out?
Cole.
No, I heard it a few weeks ago, and it still kind of hurts every once in a while. So
At
don't
the,
mind me.
at the candy factory?
Yes, at the candy factory. Bastard. Is it my turn next? Do I go?
We haven't done Spit or Swallow yet because Vince wanted to dive
Oh,
into
yeah,
Breezango a
Vince.
little deeper. So
Oh,
now NXT Spit or Swallow, anyone can start.
Go ahead, Vince.
I swallow NXT every week. You know this. Whether it's good or bad, I swallow NXT. Honestly, just off of that Finn Balor promo alone, I'm swallowing that episode because that was a very good promo.
I will also swallow NXT. The tag team, like the Dusty Classic shit, is always good. And I mean, Adam Cole. So
Savannah?
I'm also gonna swallow NXT because this is the first time in a while that I've watched, and it was mostly because I was gonna be on here and I knew we were gonna talk about it. So that's really the only reason why I watched today. And it was actually, I really liked it. So yeah, I'm gonna swallow because of that.
Well, we're 4 for 4. I'll be swallowing as well. You had a bunch of really good shit here. I loved the Xylee shit. I really liked the Undisputed Era that advanced throughout the night, and the beatdown. Obviously, little bits with Scarlett here or there. It was a lot. It was very promo heavy and very like interview and segment oriented. It was very broken up. Not as much action as we normally get on an NXT, but I enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
It's good shit.
it's good shit. Where would you like to go next? SmackDown or Raw?
Let's just get it out of the way. Let's go Raw.
Oh, somebody's not a fan of Monday Night Raw.
I love Raw, but I'm gonna be honest, I mostly watch for like 4 wrestlers. Them being Drew McIntyre, which he has COVID, so he's not gonna be on for probably the next couple weeks. AJ Styles, obviously, and I have more than this. And then Miz and Morrison. Those are my boys. Yeah, I know.
yep.
I've gotten shit for that, but those are
Yep.
my boys.
Anyway, what, Vince?
The one thing that really stood out to me was the fact that you could tell they were very shorthanded on this episode of Raw, and it just bothered me throughout the night, and I couldn't just like not pay attention to it, and I guess that took me away from the show. Like even like this part where Keith Lee goes up to Triple H like, oh, I'll pull double duty. I'm like, dude, everybody's been pulling double duty, dude. Like Triple H has been in like in 4 segments just tonight alone, and I saw, and I didn't notice this like on the show, but apparently Ricochet was available and they just didn't use him, which mind-boggling.
Okay. We do kick off the show with Triple H, or actually we kicked it off with a message from Drew McIntyre cautioning you that while he does have COVID and he is doing okay, please take this seriously. Wear your masks, wash your hands, wash your ass, all that good shit.
Yes, please do.
Yes, wash your ass.
Especially
and,
if you're a wrestling fan and you're going to the show, wash your fucking ass.
I do it, but apparently there is a prevailing theory that white people don't wash their legs. So as a public service announcement,
What?
white people wash your legs, I guess.
What?
I've heard Jizzy talk about it. I've heard other podcasters that I know talk about this theory that white people don't wash their legs, and I don't know where it comes from. But if you don't wash your legs, wash your legs. It's not going to help prevent
Wash your
COVID, but
legs.
it's just good practice. Wash your fucking legs. Then we got Triple H kicking off Raw. Orton comes out and interrupts, says, just give me the 30 spot in the Rumble or give me the title. I'm like, why? What did you do to get any of that?
Nothing.
Nothing. Why did
No.
why
Burn
is-
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, like you lit a dude on fire, which Triple H was proud of him for. He was not happy with his treatment of Ric Flair or the other legends, but he was very proud of him for committing murder on live TV.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too if I was Triple H. No,
Yeah.
I
Coming from a
think-
guy that, as Katie knows very well, fucked a corpse on live TV. So
Go straight to hell.
Randy Orton is the only one who could like commit crimes like arson and murder and receive no precaution.
That is the one
well-
thing that bothers me about wrestling is like he lit a dude on fire. There's no like police investigation story.
But then Vince McMahon talks back to the police and he gets arrested.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Orton goats Triple H into a match by saying that he left his balls in Stephanie's purse at home,
I
which
feel like someone's told him that.
it's the whole fucking, I mean, they do this all the time, but it's the whole Back to the Future Marty McFly.
Yeah.
Don't call me chicken bullshit. Like, I'm not going to fight you. Oh, are you chicken? All right, now I'm going to fight. Like, every time.
I fucking hated it because it's like literally, really, dude. Like that's what triggered you to accept this fight is, oh, you have your balls in your wife's purse. I'm like,
Especially because he's it's like this isn't the first time he's heard that. Like, why does it still phase him so much that he's gonna accept a match? Like,
yeah, no, it felt kind of dumb. I felt like it should have been something a little bit better to trigger him to like go that extra mile to want to fight Randy Orton. That's not enough. Maybe like him threatening Stephanie. He legit threatened Stephanie in front of him, kissed her in front of him. That's more legit than his like, oh, you have your balls in her purse. Like,
I also believe he punted Stephanie at one point.
he did. He punted the entire McMahon family. That was a build up to their WrestleMania match.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Kitty's out here just like, did that
I'm like,
happen?
don't all guys have
No,
their
I
balls in their wife's
remember
purse,
him
though?
punting everyone else, but I can't remember him punting Stephanie for some reason.
I can attest that though I have not been married, I have had my balls in my significant other's purse one time or
See,
another.
so
My wife has
like I don't know why
mine
I was gonna say I don't know why Triple H took offense. I thought that's a normal thing. I thought all husbands had their balls in their wife's purse.
And then,
Matt.
and then, ladies and gentlemen, the second thing I manifested this week that I'm so fucking happy about. Charlotte is here to do an interview before her match. She doesn't want to talk about Rick in 2021. She doesn't get it. She doesn't care about Lacey and Rick. But ladies and gentlemen, Lacey and Rick are fucking, and I am so happy we're getting the story because I really, really wanted it, and now it's happening. Charlotte says Lacey ain't the first woman to hit on Rick in front of her and probably won't be the last. She's going to whoop her ass. Lacey actually gets the win here because Ric Flair shows up and helps Lacey get the win. And then they run off to a hotel room. And the only thing they fucked up was not following up with them in the hotel room. We followed Enzo and Lana back to the hotel room.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Drake Maverick and
We
Drake
followed Drake
Maverick
and
and-
Renee
Oh my
back to the
gosh.
hotel room. Why can we not follow Rick and Lacey back to the hotel room? Because I guarantee Rick's hotel room is way better than fucking Lana or Drake Maverick's, and he had some nice shit going on in there. I bet it was romantic as
it's
fuck.
because Lacey was probably doing some limousine riding.
I want to know how her.
Ah,
I was like, do you get it?
Yeah, no, Lacey got the golden ticket to Space Mountain. She's
Katie
riding
looks so
all the way to the
disgusted.
top.
Sorry.
Yeah, Lacey's gonna ride Space Mountain all the way to the top. I'm just curious as to how this plays out with Lacey's daughter, who is technically canon. We met her. She was on screen. She had a little feud with Sasha. Like, she exists.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's still it's Dawn Marie Tori Wilson 2.0.
And that's what I wanted.
Oh,
It's
that's
gonna be great.
true.
I know that's all you wanted out of this map.
Here's why it's going to be great, because with Dawn Marie and Tori Wilson, we didn't get a match, like a full-on actual wrestling match with consequences. We got an awesome lesbian, like
No, there was an actual
uncomfortable.
match.
It wasn't a real match because Dawn Marie and Tori Wilson didn't really wrestle, Vince.
Fair.
We got a weird forced lesbian thing after Tori's dad died in a hotel room. Again, back to the hotel room. They went there. But here we can get a last woman standing match, a cage match. I quit.
Ric Flair on a
Shark
pole
cage
match.
Ric Flair. in a pole match.
Shark
No,
cage match.
Ric Flair on a forklift match. is
No,
what
he's
I'm-
on a pole.
It's the,
forklift.
it's,
On a pole.
it's the
On a
spice.
pole.
You can put the forklift on a pole, Katie. Let me have the forklift.
Put him in a fucking shark cage. Ric Flair in a
That
shark
too.
cage.
I just
All right.
said that.
Thank you. That's why I repeated it, because no one heard you.
Okay, I was like,
I got you.
like feeling my
Here's the thing. You're going to get a real match out of this, and it could be really good because you've got the spice and the sauce of a dramatic storyline. I hear it all the time. People are like, I'm tired of women's wrestling matches always being based around, we were friends and then you were mean to me and now we're not friends anymore. Can't we do something else with the women? Well, now we're doing something else with the women. It is a real story where Lacey is using Charlotte's father, Rick, to get to Charlotte. She is manipulating Rick. Charlotte is fighting not just Lacey, but her father. And then we're going to get real wrestling matches and real consequences. And Lacey's probably going to get her ass fucking whooped, tapped out, given a really shitty natural selection because Charlotte doesn't know how to hit it anymore. But we're going to get real shit. And I'm very excited for it.
Can I say something?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
After
go ahead.
Vince.
No, I'll let Vince go. He was talking first. Go ahead.
Okay, well, just my whole point is like I'm not excited for this because every single time Lacey Evans and Charlotte have been in the ring together, it's a terrible chemistry, a terrible matchup, terrible pairing. That's why I'm not excited.
But if you do a gimmick match,
no.
Listen, I'm not excited for Charlotte to be holding a tag title when they're not fucking doing anything about it. I've been pissed about this shit for weeks. You have Asuka, your champion, not even on Raw, not doing a damn thing, hasn't had a title match in God knows how long. You have her go for the tag titles with originally Lana, which I didn't want Asuka to win regardless. I'm sick of the double fucking champs. It's overplayed now. We're done with it. Now you basically have Charlotte in a feud with Lacey Evans, not defending the tag titles. Alexa Bliss is apparently facing Asuka on Raw this week. Not doing anything with that might lead to the Raw title, so at least get one of the titles off of her. But there's no point. There's no point in all of this. Just you shouldn't have had them win the fucking titles.
Well, and also I was gonna say this is something I wanted to bring up during NXT and I kind of forgot about it. But with the women's Dusty Cup, does the winners face Charlotte and Asuka for the tag titles since the women's tag titles can go to all three?
I
would assume
this.
so.
They did because that's what I was looking out for when they first said there was going to be a women's one, but no one, not a single person mentioned what would happen if they won. They're just oh, we're gonna win, and I was like, that's great, but what do you win other than
They may talk about it next week when they actually officially
announce the rest of the teams.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, and I agree. I don't think Charlotte should have the tag title on her, but that doesn't take away from the greatness that is this story.
Yeah, the story I'm about.
I feel
Charlotte having the fucking titles, no.
Quit
I was
hating,
gonna say if it was the Raw title that she had, better story, better reason. I feel but it's the tag title that she's holding.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're holding the tag titles, not doing a damn thing about it. They've been backed into the corner for fucking months now, and they're not doing I rant enough about this on Tuesday mornings. I can't. I hate it.
I'm like, did you not just see me rant about Hangman? You can rant all you want.
I'm with Katie on this. I'm with Katie on this. I hate the fact that they don't do nothing with those women's tag titles. They haven't done anything with them
since Sasha and Bailey. And Vince, I don't really like Sasha, and I'm giving her cred. With Sasha was the tag champ with Bailey. That's probably both times. You know what, Vince?
Nobody likes Sasha except you, Vince.
Everybody likes Sasha.
Vince is probably the only Sasha stan that is not toxic as fuck. That's all I'm gonna say. Her fans are toxic as hell. And I'm sorry if you're
that is facts.
a Sasha fan, but her fans are toxic as
Don't
hell.
apologize. We all fucking know.
Hey, you know what though?
Except for
it runs both ways because I saw this really weird drawing that someone did of Roman Reigns eating her out that was going around Twitter. She drew a picture of Roman Reigns and she's like, give me my credit or some shit like that. Everyone's like, no, you're fucking sick. That man's married. There's something wrong with you. So it goes around. It's not just Sasha stans. They're just weird stans.
But Sasha's are just happen to be more toxic. With the whole Sammy Guevara situation, they didn't have to dig up old shit that it's not like Sammy Guevara had been acting like that, the same way he was when he said that comment, but because he said that, most likely as a joke that the sex gods are better than Sasha and Bailey or vice versa, they had to pull that shit up from so many years ago that he probably regretted. And
I'm in so much trouble just from this podcast for the things I've said. So if Dexter Lumis ever hears anything I've said about him on this podcast,
he's gonna come to your house and kill you.
I'm fucked.
He's gonna stand behind you in a urinal, breathing heavily behind you. Is what he's gonna do, Matt.
We had Miz and Morrison doing Miz things with Sheamus and Keith Lee trying to cause division and issues. Then we had something that we kind of saw twice. So Jackson Riker ends up taking on Jeff Hardy because Elias was hurt while recording something. And then after Riker got the win, which I didn't understand, Jeff then defeats Elias because got to get Jeff his win back, I guess.
But like, I guess because I fell. I'm not even gonna lie. I fell asleep during that match because I was so
I don't
tired.
blame you. It was fucking Jeff
I was
Hardy.
like, I was still recovering, and Raw being 3 hours, it was just so hard to watch. Sometimes it's just hard, especially during recovery. So I fell asleep during that match, and when I woke up, it was over. I was like,
You didn't
oh,
miss much.
I was gonna say I didn't see the Jackson Riker part or whatever the fucking name is.
Well, you
I didn't see that.
anyway.
You
I
mean the
didn't
guy
know,
who
but I
stormed
did-
the
yeah, I
Capitol
didn't
and then
even-
was just on Raw
I didn't
chilling?
even. Yeah, I didn't even realize that.
I got you.
I didn't even realize that match, the match before Elias and Jeff Hardy happened. I was like, what? When I woke up, and then I saw like on social media about Jeff losing to like and then winning. I was like, wait, he lost? Or
Yeah.
I was so
It doesn't make any sense, man. We don't
confused.
know either.
I forgot I'm supposed to refer to Jeff Hardy as Jeff Jarrett because people like shitting on Jeff Jarrett. So if I say Jeff Jarrett, then I say bad things, people
Oh,
are going to be okay
yeah.
with it. So
I forgot about that.
Jeff Jarrett lost to Jackson Riker, which was cool, and then unfortunately got his win back. But he's trash. So then we had Sheamus and Keith Lee defeat the Miz and Morrison. Keith Lee destroyed the ring, just fucking turned.
Oh, was like that's? I know that's been up for like speculation. Was that a work or did he actually? I think he actually.
I think he legit broke it.
I think
Yeah,
he legit
because
broke
even
it.
like there was like the guy, like one of like the workers at the top of the apron when they came back from commercial, he was still at the top trying to fix it. But I thought that was still cool though. I thought it was, even though poor John Morrison was the one who got hit into the turnbuckle that made it break. But
Oh, I loved that because if I have to hear parkour one more goddamn time, I'm gonna shoot myself in the head. And
Parkour.
hardcore.
I blame this. This is why I hate The Office because I blame The Office for this
Parkour.
existing.
Parkour. You don't like The Office, or you just don't like?
I'm a
that
Parks
one
and Rec
part?
guy. I literally everyone
Okay, I
but
can't see.
Dwight, Stanley, and Creed are the only three people on that show I can stand. Everyone else annoys the fuck out of me, especially Michael.
Michael Scott.
I hate him.
Oh, I didn't like. I think some of his jokes are funny, but Michael really started annoying me after when I started watching The Office. I was like, especially when he would like throw temper tantrums like over the dumbest shit. I'm like, oh my god.
And I only like
Such a
Dwight because
meme.
my wife hates him, and I enjoy that. So, so we get this match, they get the win, and then we go to commercial. And when we come back, Keith Lee and Sheamus are fighting, and commentary is like scrambling to explain why we're having a match between two guys that we just saw hugging before we went to
I was
commercial.
gonna say, what the hell happened? I'm like, it's like if like they just found out that like you're not the father, and then like, or you are the father, and then they found out, oh, sorry, that was a mistake. You're not the father, and then that's why they started fighting. Like it seems like, or that
So
would
they're
probably
fighting
be a reason
over
they would say-
custody of Drew, basically.
Yeah,
Basically.
Aw,
I'm
I
his best
like
friend. No,
that.
I'm his best friend.
No,
Anyway.
I'm his best friend.
I will say they did have really good chemistry when they did team together, and I appreciated that. And this was also a really good match. Like, as Kyle loves to say, Sheamus has been killing it. He tore it down. These guys had a great match, and after the match, they were hugging again. So they hugged, and then they fought, then they hugged again. I really don't know what the fuck's going on here, but
Maybe it's a Goku Vegeta thing where they just have a love-hate relationship and they always want to test each other's strengths.
well, then Keith Lee is definitely Vegeta.
No, Keith Lee is Goku.
No, Keith Lee is not Goku
Why?
because Goku's fucking trash.
But he always wins, though.
Goku's fucking trash, and
Okay.
we'll have this discussion another time.
Sheamus is Vegeta because he has the hair pointing up at all times.
Keith Lee does the Big Bang Catastrophe, which is the Big Bang Attack.
He also does the spear bomb, which is only done by Goku.
We're
Can
gonna
we
fight
move
this
on?
out later. Yeah, we'll move
I
on.
know, Katie. They're like,
I just leaned back. I was like, okay.
If Travis was here, we'd have a better discussion, and Travis would be on my side. Then we got a promo from Drew on Goldberg from his house where he basically accepts Goldberg's challenge. Later on, we had a Goldberg promo package hyping Goldberg up, which no one gives a shit about. Then the Lucha House Party lets Matt Riddle know, hey, you're going to need help tonight. We got your back, which was fucking weird, and I didn't understand, but okay, cool. Fuck Matt Riddle, hashtag Riddle over Riddle. Then Xavier Woods loses the T-bar, and Kofi's not here. So this is an example of what you were talking about where we seemed shorthanded. There was no Kofi, but we did have Xavier, but all of Retribution was out there. So everyone's wondering, where's Kofi? Where's Asuka? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, supposedly, I think commentary tried to played it off like Kofi has some kind of injury, but this kind of seemed out
A
of left
jaw
field.
injury or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't know, because then Kofi also, like, before they said that Kofi had a jaw injury, I remember Kofi posting on his Instagram, like, he was like dinner and it was like only soft like foods that like you don't really need to chew. So maybe he does have a jaw injury.
He might.
Or he just really wants to bring kayfabe to life on Instagram and just post soft food for the sake of selling a jaw injury that they're going to talk about on Raw.
That'd be cool.
That's commitment.
But you know, I'm like, let me eat these fucking baby food. Let
T-Bar
me
beat
post my
Xavier
baby
Woods.
food for dinner.
Yeah.
Fucking T-Bar.
You're not happy about it? You're not happy about Bane getting the win over Woods?
I mean, I feel like someone who like Xavier Woods, who's like one of the best tag teams, losing to someone like T-Bar, who was at some point when they first started off probably one of the best things to happen on Raw or WWE, and then like completely
I just want him
like
to be
ruins.
Dominic Dijakovic again and have banger matches with Keith Lee on
Yep.
Raw.
Facts.
Or like even like Mia Yim, like Reckoning is just like
Pointless and stupid.
Mia
Like
Yim-
all of Retribution.
Exactly. Like, well, yeah, Retribution used to be really good when they were just trashing shit, and then they got fucking drafted, and then they lost like their first match.
Is your jaw okay?
Yeah.
I know you just had some work done.
Yeah, I can actually like talk now. It just kind of hurts.
Riddle loses to Lashley. Yay. And then challenges MVP. Boo. Wins by DQ. And then gets his ass whooped by Lashley.
Again, Matt's not a fan
Yay.
of bro nuts.
Listen. Hashtag Ritter over Riddle.
Like, okay, yeah, I agree with that, but
That's all you need to know.
That's all. That's the whole thing, Savannah. That's
Also,
I'm not
he
a fan
reminds
of-
me
like, I'm
so
not a
much
fan
of
of
Kevin,
everything.
I can't root for him.
it's fucking weird. Like we get it. You're stoners. Ha. Like
We find out that Gulak wants in the Rumble, and Adam says, you can't just declare yourself. I mean, everyone's declared themselves, but you can't declare yourself.
like
You gotta go
everyone,
win a
I'm
match.
officially.
poor Drew.
Yeah. So AJ says, oh, well, I'm in it. And they make a match, AJ versus Drew Gulak, which AJ wins. So poor Drew Gulak doesn't get in the Rumble. Like, so here's my thing. I get it. Like,
you know what? That's
the men's Rumble is already full. So you can't declare you need to win a spot, I guess, whatever. Whereas the women's Rumble, they haven't announced a lot of people, so it's not full yet. I could see that, but like the way they played it off was just like they kind of shit on Drew Gulak.
They did shit on Drew Gulak.
But
Not kinda. They did.
I wish that the fact that everyone like declares themselves into the Royal Rumble, it just makes it less exciting about who's gonna be in it and who's not gonna be in it. You already know, like, I guess for prediction's sake, it makes it a little easier to predict who's gonna win. But that's the only pro, in my opinion, of announcing who's gonna be in the Rumble, especially if you have like half or even more than half of the number of people declaring themselves in. So you don't have that many, like, there's no room for like surprise or who's it gonna be, like speculation.
I like a balance of both, where you don't know at least like 10 names, but you know who's in it for the most part, because you have your idea of who's gonna win the match, and you don't want to just go in there completely blind as to who's gonna be in there, because yes, the match sells itself, but there has to be a certain level of investment. For instance, like I'm very invested on either Daniel Bryan or Shinsuke Nakamura winning the men's Rumble, and I'm heavily invested in Rhea Ripley winning the women's Rumble. So that's just stuff like that. Like it helps invest you into a certain wrestler.
Keith Lee's winning the men's Rumble.
Is not winning the men's Rumble.
I didn't write down who won the match. I do know that I really enjoyed Dana Brooke and Mandy together. But they fought Nia and Shayna, and I just put Nia and Shayna versus Mandy and Dana.
I remember the finish, Matt. Nia Jax had the match won. She was gonna go for the top rope splash, the Vader bomb thingy, but then Shayna tags herself in and chokes out Dana, and then Nia just has this puzzled look in her face, like, what the fuck just happened? Why did you just steal that victory from me?
Is that true, Katie?
Yes, that is what happened.
Okay.
Katie's the only one who actually pays attention.
Katie's the only one who recaps 3 shows in a week, so
Well, I knew.
No,
I
but
know.
no. I mean that in a good way. I don't mean like, oh, look at Katie. She pays attention to Raw. I mean that you actually
Katie takes notes.
Like you're the only Yeah, exactly. And I meant that in a good way. I didn't mean that as to make fun of you for actually paying attention
all
to
in his
Raw.
brain right here.
I just know that Kyle definitely wanted to talk about Dana Brooke. It's his favorite thing to talk about on Tuesday, so I know you'd know. Then we had Triple H versus Orton. Triple H grabs a sledgehammer. It gets set on fire. The lights go out. They come back on. Alexa appears. My buddy John actually called me today and pointed something out that I didn't notice. So Orton got cut during this match and was bleeding pretty good from his cheek. And I guess if you pay attention to the end segment where Alexa uses Ember and it is super effective, there's no cut on Orton's cheek and he's not bleeding. So that was probably pre-taped and then cut in.
100%.
Well, yeah, the way they had it done, there's no way it could have been live.
Why not?
No, most of the like
I'm an
Alexa
editor.
playground and stuff.
There's no way.
Yeah, they do that. They shoot that shit at a later time or before and then put that in.
Yeah, and like there's no way unless they have some pretty like those graphics. I know that they put like in like entrances and stuff. They have to have something like super advanced like that to do that shit live. But like I already knew like it was either pre or post Raw that they did that.
It also felt to me like it was like their 10th take, and this is probably the best take they could have gotten. Like I feel like
especially the way it cuts from like Alexa to Randy. I'm pretty sure that was like probably like the 10th time Randy had to fall back or something.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I love all the supernatural
I liked it
shit.
too,
But you gonna say something bad about my Alexa Bliss?
No, it's not what actually happened because I thought it was cool. I was kind of freaking out with the ending because again I was about to fall asleep and then I saw that happen and it just kind of scared the shit out of me because I was like half asleep when I watched it. But just from like outside, behind the scenes standpoint, just it was like you could definitely tell, or at least I could definitely tell it was definitely. I didn't even have to notice the cut on the cheek because I didn't notice that, but I definitely knew that had to have been pre-taped or post-taped after Raw before because that was the way it was edited was really like you could tell.
I want to go back and see if Randy was wearing the same gear because that would be fantastic if he had like a different pair of quick wardrobe change. No, I really enjoyed it. I made my little Harry Potter and the Half Pint Princess meme. Put that out on Twitter.
I loved that, honestly.
I thought it was fantastic. Monday Night Raw, spit or swallow.
I'm a spit, man. I didn't really enjoy Raw. It wasn't bad, but I felt like it didn't do nothing for me. I don't feel like it advanced much. I felt like it was just kind of like a filler episode in an anime where, like, yeah, it might have been enjoyable. There might have been some cool stuff to watch, but I don't think nothing really advanced forward that like really mattered.
Keith Lee broke the ring.
Again, some fun filler stuff that isn't gonna matter in the grand scheme of things in the actual.
And it's also you got to think about how many good things happen in the span of 3 hours compared to how much filler was there.
To be clear,
there was more filler than there was good parts.
Alexa using Ember and it being super effective was enough for me to swallow.
Yeah.
So
but I'm spitting Raw. Honestly, it felt like a grind on Monday to watch it.
Savannah, well, Katie continues the thing.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say, as much as I love AJ and as much as I would swallow for AJ, I've got to spit on this one. Sorry, AJ.
All right, we're spitting on AJ. Katie.
AJ looks like he.
Katie, you want to spit on AJ too, or?
No.
Oh, Savannah, you're phrasing, sweetheart. My God.
I think she's doing it on purpose. I
think subconsciously she is.
I have that effect on people.
You do. I'm gonna gargle because like I liked the Alexa stuff. I was okay with like the Keith Lee and Sheamus stuff, but everything else was kind of just So I'm gonna gargle.
So we got 1 swallow, 2 spits, and a gargle. Four swallows for NXT, and then 2 gargles and 2 swallows for AEW. And now we're on SmackDown. I can't believe I remembered all that, actually.
I'm very proud of you.
We kick it off with Paul discussing the need for a stipulation in Roman Reigns' match. And then Jey Uso cutting a promo that I'm pretty sure was not approved by the head of the table, where he put over Roman and said he's going to win the Rumble and then go to Raw and they're going to take over Raw and blah, blah, blah. And Shinsuke basically comes out and says, fuck that and fuck you. And then we have a match. Jay loses to Shinsuke. Cesaro comes down during the match and doesn't fucking do anything. And as soon as Cesaro's music hit, I was like, this is not good for Shinsuke. Oh, fuck. Cesaro's going to screw Shinsuke. We're going to get a feud here, something. But no, there was no turn.
He just went to commentary, and like I just didn't realize why if he was gonna go to commentary, why didn't he do it before? Like, you know how during matches they'll be like, oh, and right here on commentary we have this person, and then like wasn't Big E on commentary for his match, and he didn't just come out in the middle of the Intercontinental title
we're gonna
match?
talk
Like,
about Big E.
Come out just...
We're gonna talk about Big E's casting couch when we get there.
Okay.
So Shinsuke did get his babyface music back. No rap in it. Everyone was excited for that. Now, as I believe we said in the group chat, we need them to pipe in the yeah, for Shinsuke. Music plays. So that'll be a plus. They're really pushing Shinsuke as a singles babyface again, and I'm stoked for it.
I'm gonna give credit to like the veterans of SmackDown, like the Daniel Bryans and the Roman Reigns, having a little bit more creative input. I feel like SmackDown, for the most part, is like, hey, we're gonna push specific guys, and we're gonna go ahead and give them a shot. Like, I know
that's what they used to do when Paul was running SmackDown.
Yeah.
That's how Edge and Eddie and all those guys got ahead.
Yeah. I like I said, I know I'm jumping ahead, but the fact that Apollo Crews was seen backstage.
No, we're not jumping ahead. Cut that out.
Yeah, shut
Shame
up,
on
Vince.
you. We're not there yet. No, actually, go ahead. So Apollo Crews. So I actually didn't like this because I am a firm believer that the head of the table, the tribal chief, that family should stay in the Samoan bloodline. I do not want to see Apollo Crews or anyone else join that faction that is not a family member. I firmly am going to stick on that. I know it would be a nice push for Apollo Crews, and that'd be cool. And I'd like to see that for him. I don't want to see anyone join up with them that isn't Tamina or Jimmy or the other one that isn't signed, the other brother that isn't signed. I want them to keep it in the family, personally.
I mean, I get that, and I'm all for it, but why not bring in an Apollo Crews? I feel like an Apollo Crews fits that whole like group perfectly, and they need more people in that other than Jey Uso.
Because if it's not a family thing, then why does The Rock have a gripe? And I need The Rock to have a gripe so we can get Rock versus Roman.
We're still gonna get it.
If
like
it's
he's
not
the
a
head
family
of the
thing, there's
yeah,
no
but
gripe
Roman's not just the head of the table for the Samoan dynasty. He's also the head of the table of WWE on SmackDown. If you listen to Jey Uso's promo, he's basically saying everyone in catering, everyone in that back should be grateful and thankful for Roman, and maybe Apollo's one of those superstars that actually are falling in line, are being
which
grateful
was to set up bringing in people outside of the family into the group, which is what I don't want.
And I'm all for it. I'm disagreeing with you here, man.
That's fair. That's fair. You can have your own opinion. You have the right to be wrong. It's cool. What about you two? Pro Apollo joining the group against
I think the only reason why I am with Matt about it keeping it in the family, because the whole head of the table thing, like why have him like be actually like after he beat was it after Hell in a Cell, I think, or when he beat Jimmy Uso and he was actually crowned, I guess you could say. He was given basically the position as head of the table. Like by family, you know, it'd just be kind of weird if you have some sort of outsider like come in and like, you know, there's no guest seat at the family table. You have to pull up a chair for them, and you don't want to do that.
Savannah gets it.
You know what? That just means that Savannah would never invite us to the family table. That's what she's getting at right now.
No, there's a card table in the back for you people.
Matt, you'd be more than welcome to sit at the Delgado table.
When you have
table,
guests
I appreciate
over,
that.
when you say, "Mom, I'm bringing my friend over," oh, let's pull up a seat. You're not part of the table. You're the pull up a seat. You're the we gotta go get another seat for you. Pull up a chair. You are not part of the table.
That is
you
Apollo's
are the
gimmick.
guest.
Maybe he comes and has to pull himself his own chair, his own seat to sit at the table.
The only way I will accept this is if Apollo actually thinks he's part of it and then they kind of have to like, no, you were never part of this, like, you know. And if Apollo firmly believes that he's one of the group now, they kind of have to like tell him like, no, you're not. Then I'll be fine with it.
Yeah, Booker T him. You let him into the group, and then you
Katie?
super kick him out. Yeah, Katie, you got anything to add?
For all that, Jesus. No, I agree with the majority here. Keep it Samoan. Like, I mean, you can also marriage-wise, you can bring in Naomi if you would want, but once Jimmy comes back, you got that tag team. You can bring in Tamina.
Can be like the woman, like the, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you could have Tamina or you could have Naomi, depending if you actually want to use Tamina, but they don't use Tamina. So
As long
Or
just
like
have her-
even like
Naomi stays on Raw.
or
As long
I'm
as
just
Naomi stays on Raw.
Naomi can't join. She's on Raw.
You know how I feel about that
Oh,
interbrand bullshit.
I know. Well, I mean, yes, she's drafted to Raw, but like she hasn't been seen. So it's very possible
Yeah.
they could just end up drafting her to
You know what
SmackDown.
they can just do the little we traded her kind of deal. But
Yeah, we
announce
traded her,
no,
but you
fuck
don't get
all that.
trade backs, which is something Matt really fucking loves.
You're
Naomi
a trader,
and
trader
Aleister
for
Black
fucking Aleister
traded.
Black. Yeah. Trader for Aleister Black, and then put him on fucking Raw. You can stick him with the Fiend and Alexa and actually do something with the motherfucker.
Nah,
Wow, remember when you drafted like all
boom,
three of them?
see? But where I was going was that since oh no, never mind, she's not. I forgot she didn't have the tag title anymore. I was gonna say if she was the tag title and they can like go from different brands, that could have been better because she could have gone to SmackDown then, but she's not because she's on Raw and she doesn't have the title.
I feel like there's
forgot.
too many like hurdles to jump through to get all the Samoan family on the same show for it to be a Samoan family. I think it should just be like Roman's his own version of the inner circle, like his own people that he wants to be in there.
All right.
Family
Yeah,
to
the
me
inner circle's
isn't
7
just
people.
blood. It's the people you surround yourself with and are in your life and actually care about you. I'm way more closer with some friends than I am with actual cousins. So that's the way I look at it.
Okay, but maybe Roman Reigns isn't.
I know we're all part of the Smacked Raw family, but we're gonna have to move on from this family debate. Paul delivers a contract to Scrap Daddy and Daddy DeVille, and there's a lot of daddies running SmackDown right now. And I know Katie absolutely loved DeVille's suit game tonight.
Listen, I'm going to become a fucking Sonya Deville stan account because I would literally let Sonya step on my throat. I fucking love Sonya Deville.
I said some interesting things about Tony Storm earlier in a text message with my friend John. So it's a no DQ match. Pierce signs it and accepts, and then he brings it back to Roman later, which is where we see Apollo Crews, which we talked about. Roman's like, no, I didn't ask for a no DQ match. That's not what I want. I want a last man standing match. So Paul's like, all right. And then we have the contract signing at the end of the night where they deal with that. We'll get to that. We have a Street Profits segment where they accept the challenge from Rudolph. And this was the final thing because I started Rudolph and I heard the Street Profits call them Rudolph. Don't look at me like that.
Vince, why are you making that face?
I've been calling them Rudolph forever since before Matt.
No, you have not.
So
I have always been calling.
You have not.
Yes,
I
the fuck
guarantee
have.
Rudolph manifested either on a podcast with you and me together, or you got it from us.
Bullshit. I will
Check
die
the
on this.
tape.
We're gonna file the trademark.
Check the
He said
tapes.
the
Roll it
sis is
back.
going your way, Matt.
You're
Jesus.
on the same fucking show now, Vince. Relax.
No,
Civil
it's
War.
I want credit. for
Traitor.
this. I started this.
No.
No.
Like-
You can't say traitor when I was let go to the free agency pool.
I will go back and see if I can find any evidence of me saying Vince and RN called them Rudolph and then sticking with it. But the funny thing is, seeing as you covered NXT for the majority of your career on the Smack Raw podcast, it's going to be very hard to find.
True.
Oof.
But I've always referred to them
Unless you did it on our show where you covered everything.
Interesting.
Neither here nor there. We, Vince and I, invented Rudolph. We'll go with that.
Thank you.
There
I
you
will
go.
accept that.
Teamwork.
And the Street Profits
Yay.
referred to them as Rudolph on TV, and that was just fucking amazing for me. I popped big.
Same.
This
Yeah.
has been your week, Matt.
It really has. I speak it into an existence and it happens. So I'm gonna do it again. Aleister Black is coming back at the Royal Rumble, ladies and gentlemen. Surprise entrant Aleister Black.
I hope you're fucking right on that one.
I do too. Then we had Roman Reigns, the Apollo thing. Liv versus Natalia with Ruby Riott and Punk Billy. I love Punk Billy.
Open up the pits.
Warren,
baby.
I believe it was Warren Hayes said that she looked like what a 30-year-old woman who would dress like a punk looks, or what a 30-year-old woman thinks a punk would dress like. I thought she looked fucking hot, but I'm also in my 30s, so I guess that makes sense.
I'm in my 20s. I thought you looked hot.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Liv, in the singles match against Natalia, Billy gets into it with Tamina. She runs in the ring, causes a distraction, which allows Natalia to roll up Liv and get the win. So my wife and I have constantly chatted back and forth about a few things. One of those things being the fact that Natalia doesn't wear underwear, and that you can tell because she always has like the see-through sides. Well, she didn't have that in this, and my wife's like, I think they made Natalia put underwear on because she changed her look up. Also pointed out that she didn't think Shinsuke was wearing underwear.
I did see that one.
And you guys should all go like that tweet and show my wife some love.
I will go do it right now.
Okay, I'll do it right now.
Because yeah, definitely saw a little bit of an imprint from Shinsuke as he was getting in the ring, if you were paying attention. If not, go check it out. See that Asian wiener.
So that's why you gotta go like AJ and just wear a thong.
Yeah, you go like AJ and wear a thong. I mean, most
I'm like, AJ's thong has been exposed a few times, and of
Scott
course
Steiner
I
used
know
to wear a
that.
thong all the time, pink one. Lucky pink thong. I really enjoy this dynamic between the Riot Squad and Billy Kay, even though I was really pushing for Billy Kay to be GM.
I think that should be a better role. I think they should lead to that.
Well, it looks like you might get Sonya Deville, which means you're going to continue the suit game with Sonya. So I'd actually like to see Sonya back in the ring. So I hope this isn't like a permanent out of the ring deal for her. I don't know why. I know she stepped away after the Stalker. I don't know why now that she's back, she's not competing. She's in a more backstage role. There's something
She
more
should
to
have come
it.
back at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
There might be something more to
yeah,
it.
that
Maybe there
too.
was an injury, or maybe something happened to where she's not competing. I haven't heard anything, but I'm very curious as to why. Hopefully it leads to her getting back in the ring. Then we had Ray lose to Corbin, which I completely fucking blame Kyle for putting that out in the universe. Dominic gets punked out by Corbin and then is mad at his dad for backing down to Baron Corbin. And Ray is like, hey, don't worry. I got this, and I got a friend. Any thoughts on who Ray's friend could be?
Damian Priest.
It could be.
He's coming up.
And they were talking about a bigger guy.
He's bigger than Rey Mysterio, and he's about Corbin's
Just
height.
because they're both Latino, one's Puerto Rican, the other's Mexican. There's no connection there.
Yeah, but
I wasn't
WWE's
going
also kinda
based off
racist.
that. I was not going based off that. I was going based off the fact that Damian Priest is getting called up, and he's Corbin's height. So fuck you, Vince.
I'm just saying,
No,
not all
but
WWE
Latinos are
Vince,
related.
I'm sorry,
somehow.
but WWE would do that because
I mean, that's also
of
true.
the fact that he is from Puerto Rico, and then you have Rey Mysterio. They would do that. They
You're all the same
would do
in
it for
Vince's
that
eyes.
exact reason, and that could be the
That
only
makes
reason.
sense.
Damian Priest could be just as tall as Rey Mysterio, and they would still do it because of that.
You're all the same in Vinnie Mac's eyes, not Daddy Davis's eyes.
Yeah.
Daddy Davis.
Yeah, see what you do, Savannah. Now I'm Davis.
That's what you get. You have done that yourself.
Then
Yeah,
we,
bitch.
all right. How'd you guys like the ding dong hello?
It was pretty like hit or miss,
So-
like because
I mentioned this to
I
Matt.
don't even know how to explain.
Okay, so I'll just let out what I want to say before I forget. But I mentioned to Matt how I thought it was very funny and ironic how way back when there was like conflicts about Britt Baker stealing the role model nickname from Bailey, using it right after her, and then Britt Baker just debuted her waiting room talk show. Now Bailey is doing her Ding Dong Hello talk show, and the setups were very similar, where it felt like an old school type of talk show, and they were both being obnoxious hosts. I thought the big highlight for me was when Bailey makes Bianca have to ring the doorbell and go through the doorway. I don't know how I felt about the segment. I thought it was okay. It was good, but I don't know. I felt like it was missing something. I felt like
Yeah.
Bailey was still like getting into her own in this like role of talk show host.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say because I was like, the segment was like, meh, but I like how Vince said. I liked how she made her. I thought that's where it was gonna go somewhere. When starting off with when Bailey made her, actually ring the doorbell, and Bianca's like, it's me. They all know it's me. You just announced me, and then she was like, like, oh, look who it is. And I thought it was gonna go somewhere from there, but it really didn't.
We are
And then
gonna
they
get,
have like this whole obstacle thing.
I was gonna say we are gonna get an obstacle course runoff next week between Bailey and. Listen, I think this could be actually entertaining. I'm gonna attribute this more to the Matt Hardy MVP obstacle course
To go there.
than I am the most recent obstacle course shit, especially with as athletic as Bianca is. Yeah. So
I was gonna say that's what I was worried about because I'm worried they're gonna do something like the way Sami Zayn did with Bobby Lashley because that shit was horrible. So I'm like, do you think they would do the same thing?
I don't think so. I'm hoping they've learned from their mistakes and they do something a little better. I enjoyed this. I just think they have way too many fucking talk shows. You've got Miz TV, you've got the Dirt Sheet, you've got a Moment of Bliss, the KO show.
Moment of Bliss.
Technically, now canon is New Day Talks, even though it wasn't really a show. And then you've got Ding Dong Hello. So way too many talk shows.
I only like Carlitos Cabana, and that's it.
The Supernova over on NXT UK. So Daniel Bryan loses clean to Cesaro.
I love Daniel Bryan putting over everybody on SmackDown.
But you also got to make shit look kind of believable. Like, don't get me wrong, like nothing against Cesaro, but it's just like the way he's kind of his position from how he's been lately. I just don't think it was like kind of believable for him to beat someone like who has a caliber of Daniel Bryan.
That is very interesting. I never thought I would hear a Cesaro couldn't take Daniel Bryan take.
Because like just the like all this isn't like as far as like what kind of athlete they are. This is as far as like kayfabe, and that's what I'm referring to because like the way Cesaro's been booked as of lately, it just wouldn't seem believable for him to beat someone who like Daniel Bryan. Like, you get me?
But you could also say the same thing about Shinsuke with the way he's been booked lately, going through and beating everyone that he beat in that gauntlet match. So they're definitely they're pushing both these guys as singles, and it's very interesting because people have been championing for Cesaro for a long time to get a big main event push because he is talented as shit in the ring. So beating Daniel Bryan is one step closer. I postulated that I would like to see, even though I believe that Keith Lee is going to win, possibly Shinsuke and Cesaro pulling a John Cena Batista at the Royal Rumble and both going over the top rope and then having to have a match to see who's going to face Roman going forward.
Oh, that would be good.
I still think it's The Rock that's going to show up at 30 and win the goddamn thing.
The Rock said he didn't want to do it till 2022, man. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to let that go.
Well, not just that, but I feel like The Rock can, like, he doesn't have to win the Royal Rumble for them to book it. It could be like, at some point, he just comes back. It'll still be like, they could still make something great out of that. They don't have to use.
And he did.
You know, technically, The Rock's never won a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but that was then.
The Rock has won a Royal Rumble.
No, The Rock came back and specifically told Big Show, you actually won that Royal Rumble. And look at what happened to my career and look at where your career went. That really sucks, doesn't it? They had that discussion. It happened. The Rock admitted he lost that Royal Rumble and Big Show won.
The ref's decision is final, man.
Oh, yeah. Now the ref's decision is final.
Everyone's going to look at what happened at the Royal Rumble then. They're not going to look at what The Rock told Big Show on some random night of Monday Night Raw.
Apollo Crews defeats Sami Zayn by doing him a favor and pulling his pants up because they were clearly falling down.
Oh.
We all saw way more of Sami than we wanted to. Sammy's all pissed off because he grabbed the tights. And meanwhile, during all of this, Big E has his casting couch. He's laid out sensually with his mini fridge, conducting an orchestra of just awesomeness on commentary. Him and Apollo get into it post match. I heard RN say it on their show that this is what happens, not the, as RN likes to put it, shucking and jiving that we normally get to see, but when two black people actually get into an argument, this is more realistic. This is more less of white guys writing for black people on WWE. This is what you'd expect to see. So I know he was a fan of that, and I was too. And then our main event, ladies and gentlemen, is the contract signing that just didn't go the way I think we all planned and WWE planned, because Adam Pearce signs the contract, Roman signs the contract, last man standing match, and then Adam Pearce goes up the walkway. He starts limping, he starts grabbing his leg, and then the mic cuts out, and we don't understand a goddamn word he says.
Yeah. I was like, what the hell is happening?
Of all times and all companies to have audio issues like that, really, WWE, like, you couldn't just get the guy a new mic, have someone run him out one, like.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but the camera kind of like zoomed up closer to him. Do you think it was to try and catch him, like what he was saying without the use of the mic?
Probably, because he was saying that he has a nagging injury, and as per all WWE contracts, cards subject to change. So because he doesn't feel he can go at the Royal Rumble, he has a suitable replacement. And I was thinking we're going to get a big return or a surprise here. Maybe a Seth Rollins. Maybe he'll bring out Shinsuke.
Seth
Maybe
Rollins
they'll do
would've been
something.
good.
We got Kevin Owens, and it's going to be great. It felt very underwhelming. It makes sense because they finished with that cage match. Kevin Owens was, cheated out of the cage match. So it's a way to work Kevin in. I feel like they didn't quite build the anticipation for Kevin up enough. Plus the audio issues, it seemed to kind of fall flat.
Yeah. Well, also I was gonna say, I don't know how much of, I guess, after like Kevin Owens' theme came out, this was probably just my channel when I watched it, but like I'm not even joking, Kevin Owens like walked out and then it cut off. Like it was like it just went to like the next thing. So I was like, wait, what happened? So I don't know if that was like that for everyone, but for me, it cut off literally right as Kevin Owens was walking out of the curtain.
No, he actually
Like,
walked
that
out
was
and
it.
signed the contract. He put his
Yeah.
name on the contract.
Oh no, yeah, I didn't get that part. I got gypped a good few, like a minute or something, because like he walked through the curtain and it cut off. And I was like, wait, what? And I know WWE's done that like a couple of times because they've either been super rushed on time and they need to finish things, or they just like do it like because for like to kind of like that's how they end the show. They have like an entry and then that's it. But like for me, he came through the curtain and cut off, and I was like, oh, okay, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Vince, thoughts?
But
no, I loved it. I thought it was a nice, clever way to get yourself out of that situation. I knew for a fact that we weren't going to get Adam Pearce versus Roman Reigns. Not at the Royal Rumble. Not at the Royal Rumble. It's one of the big four.
Because the Royal Rumbles,
it's too big of a pay-per-view, man.
Like if it was, I was gonna say if it was like a pay-per-view, like I don't know, like Backlash, then fine, maybe. But like I know SummerSlam's technically the second biggest pay-per-view, but I think the Royal Rumble is better than SummerSlam. I love the Royal Rumble so not that pay-per-view, all pay-per-views.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Not Mania, not Rumble. No.
I was more or less disappointed Shinsuke didn't come out. I was expecting Shinsuke to come out because it's like technically he won the gauntlet match and you thrusted me in at the end. This was his win.
Yeah, that would have made more sense.
That would have made more sense than Kevin Owens. I would have held off on Kevin Owens until like the Rumble, or like if you can't get The Rock, I want to see.
Wait. You would have held off on Kevin Owens until the Rumble, and Kevin Owens just signed a contract for a match at the Rumble.
No, like him returning
like in the
Royal Rumble.
Oh,
match.
okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
so I want this to lead to a program where like maybe it's a Daniel Bryan that gets a match at the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, where it's a fatal four-way of the guys that Roman has screwed over. So it's Kevin Owens, Shinsuke, and Daniel Bryan in a fatal four-way match for the title at WrestleMania if you can't get The Rock, or if you can get Seth Rollins to win the Royal Rumble. That's who I think should be Roman's opponent.
But don't get me wrong, like nothing like really against it, but I don't want him to win back-to-back Rumbles. I don't like he won last year, so I don't think
Seth win last year.
Yeah, he did. That's when Drew McIntyre won. He won.
Savannah. Drew won last year.
Yeah.
I know, and I popped, but I forgot. Seth won the one before.
2020 was a
It
bitch.
feels
2020
yeah.
wasn't
I'm
great.
like, you know what? 2020, especially January 2020, shit wasn't bad yet. So you know what? If there was still crowds there, so forgive me for mixing it up. But no, Seth won the 2019 one. But I still think it's too recent for Seth to win that, like, you know, only one Rumble apart or two.
Didn't Shawn Michaels win
So
back-to-back
that's the only
Rumbles? And I'm
Okay,
pretty
but
sure
he's also
Stone
Shawn
Cold
Michaels.
I'm pretty sure Stone Cold has also won 3 Rumbles, and in the span has been like maybe like a gap of a 1 year in between there.
Katie, how do you feel about it?
About which topic? Because we covered so much.
Oh, we're gonna stick to my topic, which was Kevin Owens being the surprise person, and
it basically just makes the gauntlet match look like nothing. There was no
Pointless.
point. I mean, I get it. Kevin and Roman isn't necessarily done in Kevin's eyes because he did get screwed out of the cage match. But you built Shinsuke up as like, and he's face now. We can tell by the music. You had that build last week of him being a face now, and you don't have him take on Roman because he was screwed out of winning the gauntlet match. It just makes it look like that gauntlet match doesn't fucking matter.
is it enough to make you spit SmackDown?
No.
You're gonna swallow SmackDown?
Yes, let me tell you why. The entrances, the camera they were using, fucking fire. Sonya Deville, let's be real here. And Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan, like that match was fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
I'm swallowing SmackDown.
Swallowing.
I'm swallowing SmackDown for the most part, just because Roman is just so great. That Jey Uso promo was very, very good. I liked Adam Pearce. Everything about SmackDown felt like it flowed naturally throughout the night. And I don't know, like SmackDown is the most consistent show weekly, even more so than NXT. I feel like this week's NXT was good, but it wasn't like NXT standards. SmackDown, I feel like it's always at this level, if not goes into a peak and then stays there.
What about you, Savannah?
Yeah, I'm swallowing SmackDown too.
I'm gonna spit mostly just to be different, but also because Kevin Owens kind of took the wind out of my sails. I thought everything was going great, and then that ending just kind of for me. So, Vince, what did you think was the best show of the week?
Well, considering I think it's between NXT or SmackDown, considering the way we all voted and stuff. I think it's gonna have to be NXT because it's the one show that we all swallowed.
Well, no, it's your personal opinion of what was the best show, and
Yeah, you
mind
could
you,
say it was
that's
Raw.
I actually just spit SmackDown to be different. So
yeah, and that's my personal opinion. I think like they're like for the most part, I think it might have been NXT.
I was just gonna say you literally just talked about how great and consistent SmackDown is and how NXT wasn't up to par this week. But okay, NXT is Vince's choice for the best show. Katie?
Yeah, I'm gonna go NXT.
You're gonna go NXT, KDW? Okay. Savannah?
Katie Baby.
Katie Bebe first, let's be real.
Yeah, that is true. She was Katie Baby first. I think I'm kind of stuck between SmackDown and NXT, but I did like NXT more than SmackDown, so I'm gonna go with NXT on this one also.
I'm actually gonna go SmackDown, even though I spit SmackDown, because I'm now remembering
Make it make sense, Matt.
Dexter Lumis and Shotzi Blackheart got screwed on NXT.
He's not happy about it, Vince.
Yeah, you swallowed NXT.
I did, and I regret that greatly.
He's trying to throw it back up.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Savannah.
It gave me really bad indigestion right now.
Anything you can swallow, you can throw it back up.
She makes
I
great
hate
points.
this conversation.
Vince, can you please tell everyone where they can find you on social media, follow you, and welcome to the official Smackin' and Raw crew.
Well, thanks, Matt, for officially welcoming me into the show. At SES Vince everywhere, on Instagram and on Twitter. Go ahead and follow me there. Even though Matt wants me to stop going by SES Vince because I am no longer straight edge.
Makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah, but still, it's kind of been my thing for like over a decade now.
Daddy
I'm all for Daddy Delgado. Put on the T-shirt, but I'm still
Daddy Delgado.
No, I'll make a second backup account called Daddy Delgado, but I'm keeping SC as Vince forever. It's literally my gamer tag on PS4, so if you want a game, hit me up there. It's on my Snapchat. I won't add you unless I personally know you, so don't hit me up on Snapchat. But you can find me just about anywhere. It's my Pornhub, it's my Reddit, it's everywhere in between.
And you have a sister who does some awesome artwork.
She does. Go ahead and follow Punk by Art on Instagram. And go to her Big Cartel. She has amazing stickers, amazing prints. I have
Still waiting on mine, by the way. I haven't got it yet.
I think she said there's like some delay because of USPS.
Okay.
That everything has been shipped out for the most
I mean, I
part.
could have just given you my address and you could have dropped it off, but
I don't know if she's shipped yours yet, Matt. I'm gonna hit her up and get the information. If so, I'll personally deliver it to you, Matt.
ooh, I like that. Katie, where can they find you?
Oh God. All right. You can find me at the SmackDraw Podcast. So it's at SmackDraw Pod on Twitter, youtube.com/SmackDraw Podcast, twitch.tv/putting you over, or twitch.tv/SmackDraw Podcast. I do this every week and I never remember what all I have to do. Support us, patreon.com/SmackDraw Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter, I guess. I don't really tweet except today where I just stand Sonya Deville. At Katie Rasslin 13. That's WRASSLIN, no G. And
We don't do G's around here. Savannah, if you want, I mean, I can understand with the way Twitter is if you don't want these people to find you. So you don't have to if you don't want to, but
no, I don't really use Twitter, so if you want to follow me, that's fine. I'm just not really on. But I am on Instagram. Also, I'm on Instagram more often than Twitter, and both of them are at Y2 Garcia. Big surprise, with an underscore at the end, because Y2 Garcia without the underscore was taken by some other Savannah who probably loves Jericho more than me.
not possible. And as always, you guys can find me at Matt Ritter. There's that MATTRIDDER. And you guys can go check out facebook.com/group/Smackin' It Raw. Also, please go follow Facebook/Creatia World. That is a banner under which all of our podcasts, especially this one, is covered and produced. And check out The Creatia World on Twitter and Instagram at The Creatia World. That's TheCreatia World. We will have Super Flashy Arrow of Tomorrow returning this month as Batwoman and all these other shows come back. So go check out Travis and Mara when they come back and cover that. They cover everything DCCW. So that's a really fun podcast, even though Travis sucks. And I think that's it for now, but I do have a little PSA that I'm just going to clip and give to Kyle later. Kyle, thank you for allowing Katie to come on our show. I do want to be clear that we are not stealing any of your talent. We're not going to take RN. We're not going to take Katie. As much as we love them and they're great hosts, I made a promise and I'm a man of my word. So I will not be taking any of your active talent.
I made no such promise.
As far as Vince goes, you left him on the waiver wire. You let his contract expire. I didn't steal him. I picked him up. That's your loss, not mine, bud.
I think Kyle's perfectly okay with me being on without me being on the show. Let's be honest here. I think he's okay.
He sounded bitter today. I asked RN to come on for when you do the neck tattoo. I'm like, hey, if we want to do it on my show, I'll just bring you on. And he's like, you're not stealing RN too. And I'm like, I didn't steal fucking Vince. Vince was a free agent. I just picked him up.
No,
Vince left. There's a difference.
I left because my contract expired. I signed a 1-year deal. It expired. I stayed on like you know when you sign like a 90-day extension. I signed a 90-day extension and then my contract expired. I lost my smile, Katie. And,
oh yeah, I know. I remember. I was here for that.
And he found it with me, baby.
It's pronounced baby.
He's like the John Moxley of podcasting.
I am the Triple H to his Shawn Michaels.
That's cute.
We are the new DX. I even kind of look like a fat Triple H.
That's right. Are cute. Don't you forget it.
Shut up, Vince.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. We do appreciate it. For Daddy Delgado, KDW, and Savannah, I am the Warden, Mad Ritter. We are Smackin' It Raw, and we are the #1 wrestling podcast not currently on Pornhub.